You're here. Outrageous Tyler abandons his post. Megalopolis finally tries to save some money. And listener Bruce sets the punk record straight.
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call! Bueller.
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller.
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kimble to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates. Welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete.
And I'm Rootin' Tootin' Joseph.
Damn, I feel like I need to have a nickname for myself now after that
I know.
glorious Tyler intro last week.
I'm Jolly Joseph.
Jolly. You're a jack off, Joseph.
And titillating Tyler is not here.
Yeah, you know, Tyler abandoned us. He has what we think may be some sort of COVID-19.
There's always something with that guy.
Yeah, he's hating life right now at home.
Apparently.
Yeah, but he promised to send his review of The Core for later on in the week, and but we're here. You and I.
We're here on a glorious day weather-wise.
Yeah, it's like overcast and rainy.
Yeah, it like rained overnight a little bit. It's like only 75 degrees. I know it's only gonna be like 100 on Monday, but so we have a big swing in numbers.
You know what? I woke up to this morning the sound of fire engines and ambulance outside my house.
Very graceful.
Yeah, I'm like, what's going on? And I looked outside, and at first I thought, ooh, it's rained. And then I thought, oh, someone's over there hurt. And
someone's in an emergency.
Yeah, there was a car flipped like literally half a block from here over on Grant Line. It was up on the roof, and there was like 2 fire trucks, a paramedic, and like 6 cop cars, which is par for the course in Elk Grove. Nothing else for them to do.
Yeah, you got a lot of road over here.
Yeah. I mean, it's good that there's people there to help, but do you need 6 police officers and an ambulance
for medical
and
emergency?
2 fire trucks for a car that flipped over?
I guess it depends on how many flips.
Let's just assume there's 5 people in the car. The fire truck and the ambulance got it covered. 1 or 2 police officers to keep the scene, clear, cone off or flare off a couple of lanes or whatever. But that's like 3 other police officers could not be doing other things, giving people tickets or something,
Yeah, they're just standing around,
serving and protecting.
doing the.
They were just standing in a circle talking to each other when I drove by.
Wow, they're just looking for something to do, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it was like 7 a.m. I woke up this morning to go pick up something off of Facebook Marketplace from the Bay Area.
You don't see many flipped cars these days.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I watch a lot of idiots in cars Facebook
dash cam
YouTube
footage
compilations. Yeah. And because that's my business. I'm like, ooh, that's keeping us alive.
That one's totaled for sure.
Oh, always. I'm like, that's total. Brianna will go, you think that's total? I'm like, yes.
No question. Of course.
You fool.
Why would you even ask me that? It's so obvious.
But there's an interesting thing I've been seeing now that there's more of them, dash cam footage that is, when a car hits another car tire on tire, the tires want to drive over each other, so you get these cars flip end over end.
Oh my god,
it's freaking intense. You're like, holy shit! They were just driving along, and the one bumped the other one, and the one flipped front to back.
Yeah,
endo, as they used to call it when we ride bikes back in the day.
Yeah, I see those clips some here and there, and they're usually the ones that just make you mad at the other driver.
Yeah,
or it's like you get mad at the person whose dash cam you're watching. It's like, clearly you were in the wrong in this situation.
I know. I'm like, I think the camera is wrong here. You uploaded this, you fool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, hello classmates, and welcome to Middle Class Film Class. We went through our introductions, but we got a great show for you today. Welcome to YouTube, to everyone on YouTube Live and otherwise, and the OG classmates in podcast land, which we already have some people in the chat. Is that Bruce?
Get some Bruce.
Bruce.
Joseph Bridges.
Oh, what's up, guys?
Angie. Tyler's not here, as you probably know. Dork of all dorks, Heather.
Oh, sweet.
Excited to hear some discussion about Amazon Woman on the Moon from one of us.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But first,
find some charity in you, lad. Now's the time for Gab Chatter.
Gab Chatter, movie news of the week. Joseph, lead us off with Ben Roethlisberger.
Okay, yeah.
We got Big Ben.
Oh, yeah, we got
Big Ben is
Tyler's hero. Ben Roethlisberger.
Yeah. He the perfect blameless lamb. Never done anything wrong in his life, according to Tyler.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Bruce had COVID, too.
Oh,
no.
It's going around. It's even Bama.
Oh, that sucks,
it's out
dude.
in Bama.
But Bruce is here, Tyler.
Interesting. So big controversy news this week regarding Francis Ford Coppola and his new and exciting movie, Megalopolis.
Exciting news.
Megalopolis. That's probably one of the worst movie titles.
I like it.
I don't know.
I like it.
It's goofy.
It's qualifying. If you can't say it, you're like a mega. Just get the one. The one.
The
Adam Driver movie.
Yeah. A new trailer was released last week. This last week.
What a ridiculous trailer.
And
by the way,
the trailer opens with like 1972 or whatever, whenever The Godfather was released, and it shows a quote,
like pull quotes,
like a critic's quote. And then it goes through Godfather, Apocalypse Now, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
And the quotes are all basically saying that these movies stink.
Yes, they're all saying that it's bad, terrible, when the movies were first released. And after this trailer was released, it was pulled from Lionsgate. Lionsgate pulled the trailer, but the trailer is still out there on these like Joe Blow movie trailers and other YouTube trailer channels, so you can still watch it.
Yeah,
but the quotes, it was pulled because the quotes were faked, not real, and not only were they fake and made up, they were AI generated. So it's like a double whammy of bad.
That sucks.
Double whammy of suck.
Bad decisions.
Yeah, and it was through a trailer house, like a place that a marketing consultant that makes trailers for movies, and it was their decision to do that. And there's a name attached to this marketing consultant.
Oh.
Lionsgate has parted ways with Eddie Egan.
Eddie Egan.
the marketing consultant who came up with the Megalopolis trailer that included the fake quotes from real famous film critics.
That's hella funny.
So it feels like it's not like slander or libel. It's slander is like when you're talking bad about someone, and libel is
Libel's if it's written. Slander if it's spoken. Libel
okay.
if it's written.
So it's bad about someone.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not plagiarism. It's like fraud. Almost,
Yeah,
right?
it's misrepresentation.
Yeah,
and I don't know exactly what you would call that.
But it's because they used real film critics. They didn't just like
Those people are real people.
yeah. They like Roger Ebert is one of them.
Oh shit.
And
Oh my god, Steven can't even defend himself.
I know. All I have is Siskel.
He's been put in the ground and remade into a statue on the bench.
Yeah. So Lionsgate has fired the marketing consultant. They're, I assume, no longer going to be doing work with them. Similar to like the La La Land Moonlight mishap. They fired that agency or firm that handled the nominations and the envelopes and stuff.
Oh, okay, gotcha. How do you fuck that up?
I don't know.
The winner right in the middle. You don't. Why do you even have anybody else?
Yeah.
Why?
So the studio pulled the trailer on Wednesday after it was pointed out that the quotes trashing Francis Ford Coppola's previous work did not actually appear in the critics' reviews and were in fact made up. Frankly, it sounds made up. Kramer. Sources tell Variety it was not Lionsgate or Egan's intention to fabricate quotes, but it was an error in properly vetting and fact-checking the phrases provided by the consultant. It's almost like Eddie Egan was like talking to the editor. It's like, yeah, just like paraphrase the feeling of the review.
Well, I mean, I watched this trailer. Brianna watched it. We both kind of were joking about it, and she goes, and we heard about this thing, and she goes, well, that makes sense because they're beloved movies. These are movies that were fantastic, but The Shining was the winner of the first Razzie.
Oh yeah.
In retrospect, it's got positive reviews, but at the time maybe it wasn't.
It was not well received.
Yeah, so it was too far ahead of its time or something.
Yeah, which I understand. Like obviously what they were going for. Like you don't know what you got at the time, and then
isn't the final tag after they give all the bad reviews? It says, be the first. Be ahead of the time or something like that.
Like the last.
Yeah, it's almost like these people thought this movie was bad, and it's now considered a classic. And then this movie was bad, and it's a classic. Here's Megalopolis. Don't believe what you hear. Now. Yeah, don't believe what you hear.
Just wait 30 years, and you're gonna like it.
The shitty review, yeah, exactly. The shitty reviews that don't mean anything.
I know.
Tyler sent a message to our group chat that I thought was hilarious. He said, "It's a bold take, telling people ahead of time the movie's gonna suck."
It's like they went like the Snyder route, like with the I'm gonna release my cut later in the year.
Yeah, hold your reviews back until you watch both, which they're out now. Right?
Yeah, they're like 3 hours long.
God, I know I gotta watch those now.
I don't want to. I don't want to put myself through it.
I know. They're even longer.
Yeah, I know.
It's more slow-mo.
More boring. The trailer claimed that Pauline Kael wrote in The New Yorker that The Godfather was diminished by its artsiness. Kael, the actual critic, actually loved the movie.
That's so stupid.
When Variety prompted AI service ChatGPT to provide negative criticism about Coppola's work from well-known reviewers, the responses provided were strikingly similar to the quotes included in the trailer. Egan has been an independent consultant since leaving STX in 2019, whatever that is. Lionsgate is immediately recalling our trailer for Megalopolis. We offer our sincere apologies to the critics involved and to Francis Ford Coppola and American Zoetrope for this inexcusable error in our vetting process. We screwed up. We're sorry. And I have the quotes pulled from the trailer itself, so that you'll see in the trailer in the beginning. So The Godfather, the quotes that you see are a sloppy, self-indulgent movie from Andrew Sarris, diminished by its artsiness, Pauline Kael. Doesn't know what it wants to be, Andrew Sarris again. Apocalypse Now reviews, a spectacular failure from John Simon.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Hollow at the core, an epic piece of trash.
Why don't you stop talking for a while?
One of those was Roger Ebert, I believe. And then Dracula, a triumph of...
I forgot Dracula.
A triumph of style over substance, a beautiful mess, falls flat.
Stop it. Get some help.
And I noticed they didn't include Jack. from that list of movies to put reviews on.
Yeah.
That's because it's a perfect movie.
Yeah, no, they couldn't find any bad reviews.
Yeah, Robin Williams playing a kid
Who's an adult?
who
Actually.
looks like an adult. Brilliant. When he says that joke in that bar where he's like, it sounds like you got Zackley disease. And he's like, what's that? He's like, it's when your mouth smells exactly like your butt. That's brilliant writing right there.
Joe Bridges says, to be fair, Pauline Kael was an awful critic, but he doesn't want to stand for any Sarah slander.
Yeah. Or pretending to be Sarah's slander, I guess.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Megalopolis, fake quotes. Like these movies were bad at the time, and maybe I don't know if those movies were actually poorly received.
I'm sure some people didn't like them.
I think Apocalypse Now was poorly received when it was released.
Could be.
But now people study it in film school.
Yeah.
Which is, I know that because I studied it in film school.
Well, I mean,
I had to recreate a lighting scene, scene from the movie in the lighting class.
That's cool.
And it was like when he's when Marlon Brando was like, it's like yellow lighting, and he's like rubbing his head. His bald head, and he's like, the horror.
Someone else had to recreate that scene.
Hi, my name is Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah, for Dune.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's a lot of great.
One is a gift, not a gift.
Great sci-fi versions of Apocalypse Now scenes in Dune, but yeah, Francis Ford Coppola. I mean, a bunch of stuff is coming out from this movie just because it's so wild, and Francis Ford Coppola is such a weird person. Apparently,
if that was like the trailer that this production company or PR firm or whatever decided to give to them, even if the quotes were real, it was just pretentious as all get out.
I know.
It's like the most visionary director of our time or any time. Jesus bows down to him.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot that he has a winery. They should have included a bad review of his wine in the trailer too.
Yeah.
You know, it's fun fact. Deanna actually, the only wine that she's like really liked so far is a Francis Ford Coppola wine.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I can't remember. It has like King Kong on the front or something, which seems kind of weird, but
my black Cadillac, the 54, that was used at Coppola Winery as like their touring car.
Oh, really?
Around the lot.
That's cool.
They got rid of it because they didn't stop giving people those types of tours. But the engine was rebuilt and they put EFI on it, so it was a little bit more reliable. You don't have to worry about it cranking and dying in the middle of the back lot of the winery or whatever. And I thought that was kind of cool. Same model as the car from Driving Miss Daisy as well, 1954, Series 62.
yeah.
But
To address Angry Otter's comment right now, how many lights did they use for a scene? Look at the light reflections in a person's eyes. It was actually kind of difficult because it is just one light and he's surrounded by shadow. So the hardest part was making everything else dark while focusing the light on just the one person.
it's like a spotlight almost.
Pretty much. And it's like coming at a certain specific angle and like the shadow to light ratio and like making sure there's no fall off on the face and in the background. Yeah.
That's the craziest thing to me once I started the few like small film or indie film or short film productions that I've been on set for. You're looking at it and I'm watching like you and some of the other lighting guys, and the lighting choices and admittedly very limited because we're not working on these huge budgets. It's just like what they have to rent that day that we thought, or the stuff that particular person had in their own personal catalog.
Yeah.
And you're like, the amount of decisions just to get one shot from moving from this spot of the room to this spot of the room is crazy. And I watched some of the they had some behind the scenes stuff for the beta test, Jim Cummings, the beta test, and they had a cool shot where they were doing like a kind of a 360 camera around the guy's head at the bar as the two of them were talking.
I think I've seen that clip.
Yeah, it shows the rig, how they built the rig
Yeah.
to pivot, and they like attached these LED lights to the camera, like behind the camera, and you're like, it's so cool. And like we tried to do like some lighting here in the studio, and I'm like, no matter what we do, since we're lighting our faces so strongly for the cameras, it washes out the cool look of the background.
Yeah, we could see it for the most part.
Can you turn the lights off, the key lights?
Oh yeah, this is
Watch this. Check this out.
watch this. Boom.
Hell yeah.
This is cinema.
Now we're talking.
It feels like one of those like they're trying to hide a mafia member,
Yeah.
or like, or like an anonymous, trying to keep a person anonymous, like a victim or something.
Yeah, let's see if I have something for that. Do I have something for that?
Put on your voice.
I have. Oh yeah. Here we go.
I was a part of the Francis Ford Coppola trailer production team, and they requested the AI. Francis himself. He did. It's true.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
you can get us back up here.
Okay. Ah!
But yeah, that whole lighting, that's an interesting thing.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy the amount of things when you think about it, because like in your brain, it's like, all right, I want this look. And you don't, when you actually get there to make it or film it, it's like this requires about 6 separate lights doing 6 separate things. But yeah.
Angry Otter in the chat, filmmaker, noted filmmaker Angry Otter says a single 4-minute scene took me about 4 hours to shoot. People just don't get the amount of work it takes to make a movie happen.
No, yeah, I understand.
It's like when I'm watching I was actually just discussing this with Jack Fitzpatrick last night, and we were talking about long legs because he hated long legs, and Brianna and I watched it, and he has a lot of movies that he'll rate as 1.5 star or 1 star, and I'm like, I can't in good conscience give a movie a 1-star rating if it at least
Got to be really bad.
At least it's lit well and looks well, and I can hear what the people are saying, and it's not like racist propaganda or something like that.
Yeah.
At least you get the bonus points for that. It's so hard to make the movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So a 0.5 stars are a really rare thing for me.
it's got to be terrible.
It's gotta be dog shit.
in every department.
Because a 0.5 star is the worst rating.
Yeah, on Letterboxd.
You
yeah.
can't give it a 0.
I guess you could just not rate it.
Yeah, but then people just don't think anything.
Yeah.
If I just logged it and I didn't rate it, they're not going to think, oh wow, it's a 0-star movie.
Yeah, when I see that, I'm like, oh, they just haven't rated it yet.
Haven't read a review yet.
They just logged it. But yeah.
Anything else?
No. But I mean, I'm still kind of excited to see this train wreck of a movie.
I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the new Crow too.
Yeah. It's gonna be the last thing I see. The Crow before
you die.
Before I go to, I don't know. Before I watch, I don't know, Deadpool or anything else.
I'm not gonna see it in theaters
before.
The Walmart has an exclusive steelbook release that has fantastic artwork on it.
The Crow?
For the Crow.
Oh, really?
It just got released yesterday, and I'm like kind of tempted to pre-order it. And I'll just wait until it comes, and then if I really fucking hate the movie,
What
at
if
least I
it's-
got the artwork.
What if? Yeah, just buy the one and then just like if it's really bad, just hand it out. It's like the Sisterhood of Traveling Crow.
Yeah.
Steelbook.
Well, we tried that. We tried that with Joe Bridges.
Oh yeah.
He sent me his last Netflix movies.
Oh, really?
When Netflix sendaways system, that service shut down.
Yeah.
He's been such a long time member. They sent him a couple of movies, so he watched them and then he sent them to me, and we put it out on the Facebook page, on the Cinematics page, and I don't remember. No one claimed them. I was like, the whole point is to send it off to somebody, but no one's claimed it yet so far.
Yeah, pay it forward, basically.
Yeah. But,
Anyway.
Well, so yeah, we want to do some giveaways soon with the show, listeners or YouTube viewers or something like that. Maybe
Like limited shirts or something.
Well, I got all that stack of Blu-rays and 4Ks that are
Yeah.
sitting downstairs. They're going to be the giveaway stack. So maybe we'll do something next week.
Yeah, I've got some movies I could get rid of.
I mean, great movies that we
Yeah,
love.
really, 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 really good movies that I just don't want anymore.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, cool. So for my stories, I have 2 things. Number 1, Bruce is in the chat, so I'm going to read his message first.
Oh, yes.
So Bruce is a
Man.
Bruce is a human male by all accounts.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Bruce. No, but Bruce spent most of his young youth life in the Pacific Northwest, and one of the things that's really interesting about him is that he's
a punk rocker.
Yeah, like former punk, possibly still punk rocker, and his band and one of the iterations of his band opened for Nirvana on their first night of their first paying gig. So he kind of ran in that scene and has a lot to, a strong opinions.
It's
about
got firsthand experience.
Yeah, and I'm kind of surprised I didn't get maybe Andrew's like a week or two behind or whatever. But I know he's one of our Patreon members, Andrew Martin, and he's very much a member of the punk community as well. So Andrew, if you're listening, please weigh in as well on Suburbia, because I know you have strong feelings about that. So Bruce sent us a message after our Suburbia episode was released, which was last week's review, and says, "Hey fellas, as someone who was deep in the Northwest punk scene from '82 to '87, I've never watched Suburbia. Why? It looked like another version of '80s Hollywood's idea of punk rock. Criminal, racist gangs with no philosophy, just looking to do drugs and terrorize the good kids. My friends and I basically considered it poser punk. The punk world I experienced had all types: anarcho punks, peace punks, straight edge, fashion punks, weekend punks, and of course, the drugged out wastoids that populate part of any scene. Alternative versions of punks in movies would be Another State of Mind, Repo Man, SLC Punk, American Hardcore, Green Room, and We Are the Best."
Green Room.
Yeah, Green Room solid. SLC Punk solid. Repo Man didn't land on me, but I appreciated it. Also, Joseph, I didn't dislike Romulus because I'm from an older generation. I disliked it because it's lazy, cynical filmmaking that is happy to present a rehashed series of scenes and ideas from the Alien series as if it's something new and exciting. The use of Rook, as well as the cannibalization of previous movies, is just one click away from a fully AI-generated sequel. I have heard that argument a lot in the Twitter sphere and the movie review kind of universe, and I can respect it because there is so much homage being paid to the previous movies that at what point does it become ripoff? Why is it okay for Quentin Tarantino to do it but not Fede Alvarez? You know what I mean? So I don't know where that line
Says Fede Alvarez.
Yeah.
Why can Tarantino do it?
Lady Snowblood is basically just like Kill Bill. I mean, it's Oren Ishii is her. But I thought in terms of the overall, that's why the movie to me is not a 5-star movie, because I had a fantastic time watching it.
Yeah.
The immersion into the world was wonderful. It was very, very faithful to the universe that was built by Ridley Scott and H.R. Geiger.
Yeah, another criticism I hear about not just Romulus, but like when Prometheus and Covenant came out, is like it's not a good alien movie, right? That's like a common criticism I hear. And
like it's a good movie, but not a good alien movie, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and sometimes I wonder if they were to elaborate on it, it'd be like, no, it was like Covenant to me. I can probably agree with that. It's not a good alien movie, but I had a really fun time watching Covenant because it's like a horror movie.
Yeah,
like it was more of like a horror movie, I guess, like Romulus is, and that gave me the feeling of like enjoyment. Was like the horror, like not slasher, but like gore aspect of it. And then with Covenant, you have like all this really kind of crazy lore with the engineers and all that stuff.
You mean Prometheus?
Well, both of them,
Okay.
but even more so in Covenant, because you get like flashbacks of that civilization and and how David got there, and then what happened then.
I just wish Ridley could have made the third in that trilogy.
Yeah.
I think he could have brought it home in a good way.
It's a very inconsistent franchise because I feel like each director kind of tries to reinvent or invent new lore to the story, where you have Alien and Aliens, which are more or less consistent with one another. I feel like Aliens introduces the concept of the Queen, right? And then Alien 3 is just like, it's like, I feel like it's just a prison movie, with aliens.
Yeah.
And then Resurrection is just a wild movie, just an insane movie.
I will be talking about that later.
Yeah. There was a lot in Romulus that pulls from, I feel like, every single one of those movies too.
Little Prometheus, not so much, but more. I feel like it took more from Aliens and Alien Resurrection than anything.
Yeah, it did.
And then little bits of lore. But I feel like, and so a couple of comments in the chat from Angry Otter. Romulus is my lowest rated Alien movie in the franchise, but it's still Alien. Okay. It may be the Star Wars Episode 1 of the franchise, but it's still a worthy watch. And I respect that. And then Bruce says, I guess the line I would draw between Romulus and Tarantino, Tarantino movies are populated by fantastic dialogue and crackling characters. Romulus, not so much. I agree with that too.
Yeah.
I think you get 2 good characters in this.
Yeah.
Kaylee Spainey's
the 2 main
character
characters.
and the android. And the rest of them are basically, what do they call that when they do it with a woman? Fridged. Women get fridged.
Oh.
They're introduced into the movie, pulled out of the fridge just to be killed off.
Yeah, they're like red shirts in Star Trek.
Yeah, that's even better. They're red shirts.
Yeah, they're just a means to an end for our enjoyment.
Hey, this one's pregnant. Oh, hey, by the way, we have this injectable goo that if you inject it into this rat, it turns it into this hybrid creature.
Super.
I wonder what's going to happen with that there. You know?
Well, it's like, yeah, they set it up where it's like, it's gonna, well, it's just spoilers, it's gonna heal the rat. And then you see the actual end result of what happens.
Yeah. I mean, I 100% agree with that. I get that. I still had a great time.
I did.
Still had a great time.
Because like if it was just like called Romulus with separate alien attachment, separated from the Alien franchise, and change the xenomorph into some other design, make it that fucking thing at the end of the movie.
Yeah. The whole time.
There's so many gasps that were gusped when that reveal happens. It was a shocking experience.
You know, that was mostly practical.
Yeah, it was like a basketball player, wasn't
He's
it?
a young up and coming basketball player. He's 7'7" in real life.
Yeah, I saw the real picture of him.
I've seen him before that, and then when they showed the face, I'm like, is that the? No, that can't be that kid. He's like 20.
When you first see him, it's so unsettling. It was because it just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Anyway. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was just that was how I felt.
And you know what the funny thing too about all this is, like, I don't find any of those takes invalid either. Like Bruce's take, 100% valid. I was listening to the Film Vault, and it's like between Avery, Anderson, and Brian, all 3 of them are different levels of excitement about it, and they all have qualms about it. My biggest thing is, like I said last week, the fucking retro, like, rebirthing of a legacy character, and the AI face swap is terrible.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
It's like Henry Cavill's mustache removal.
Yes, it was that bad. It was so bad. I'm like,
There were glimpses of like good.
yeah.
But then like most of it was
The
like
next frame, you're like, wow, that mouth just jumped over like an inch.
yeah.
You're like, Jesus Christ, just get somebody that looks like it, like they did in Dr. Sleep,
Yeah, or just don't show his face,
Yeah,
or like obscure his face.
Yeah, you could do like the Terminator 2 where half of it's missing, so it makes sense. That
I was disappointed it wasn't Lance Henriksen.
he's alive.
I know.
Anyways, all right. So and then the other thing I wanted to do is I wanted to play this clip I found that I thought was super fun from. This is from. Where is it? Nicolas Cage here talking about eating a bug. So here,
He's eating a bug.
eating a bug on film.
I ate a bug. Yeah.
What was that like?
It was awful. You see, I like bugs to look at, but I don't like cockroaches to look at, and I don't like eating them. And, well, they wanted me to eat raw eggs, and I said, well, that's boring. That's been done before, right? So I want to eat a giant cockroach. So they had these cockroach wranglers in New York City wrangle up these bugs that were about that big. And I walked on the set, and I saw the antennas going, the legs kicking, and I almost couldn't do it because every muscle in my body was telling me not to do it. So, but I went ahead and did it, and I couldn't sleep for 3 days, and I couldn't eat for 2 days, and it was a nightmare.
Why not?
It just was, you just don't eat cockroaches. You're just not supposed to do that, right? And I ate it, and it really screwed me up.
What?
This is for Vampire's Kiss.
Oh, okay.
There's a scene when he thinks he's turning, he's got the bug on his hand and he eats it.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And there's some scenes like in X-Files, Gillian Anderson eats a cricket in the Circus Freak episode.
Yeah.
And you see her eat it live.
Mm-hmm.
And then supposedly it was a trick and she pulls the thing out, but I'm pretty sure she actually ate it in real life.
Yeah.
And she's cool as a cucumber. Calm, cool, and collected.
Mm-hmm.
When you see Nick Cage eating that cockroach in Vampire's Kiss, he is not happy. He's not happy about it.
He's going through it.
Oh, hey, Eric. Eric's in the chat. He says, sounds like it really bugged him. Yes, indeed.
What? They were like, he's like, I don't want to just eat raw eggs.
Yeah.
I got to step it up.
Hey, let's step it up a little. It's been done before, man. So anyway, so that's that. Anything else you wanted to bring up before we get to stream picks?
No, I don't think so.
All right, let's do it.
Movies.
Want to watch a movie?
Yes, I do.
Disney Plus. Oh, HBO Max.
If I don't get the pick, show's over.
I have grown accustomed to Hulu Plus.
Amazon Prime.
I like Netflix.
You found the pick.
Streaming picks, movies that we watched this week on our streaming services that you can watch on yours too. Go ahead, Joseph.
All right. I only have 3 streaming picks this week, and plus a movie I saw in theaters.
Oh, cool.
So first one, I'll do worst to best.
Okay.
And this is I don't know if this is polarizing. So I rewatched Freddy Got Fingered.
Oh, okay.
For the first time in I don't know how long.
Noted Criterion Channel movie, Freddy Got Fingered.
Yeah, upcoming. It's coming. It's upcoming out, right?
It's coming, yeah.
And it's streaming on Hulu and Pluto TV right now.
Okay.
And I've known that this movie it's a Tom Green movie. It has disgusting elements to it and very absurd and crazy things. And I remember watching it from my youth, and I remember those specific scenes, so I knew what to expect.
Yeah.
On the rewatch.
Yeah.
And it's like you like it or you don't like it.
Yeah.
It's really like it's not like it's okay.
Yeah.
It's really like you hate it or you like it. And I'm pretty sure that I hate it.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
but
not that surprising.
But it does do its thing. It's one thing, and it does it really well, which is being disgustingly absurd. But it's just not for me. It's not a movie that I would put myself through again. I don't think. It's funny. I think it's hilarious and kind of great that it's getting a Criterion release. That I will not be purchasing just for the joke of it. Just just to have like I got the Criterion of Freddy Got Fingered, aren't I?
Tom Green is a very special comedian to me.
Yeah.
And when he was doing his thing, I felt like I'd never seen anything like that before, you know?
Yeah.
And when Freddy Got Fingered came out, I watched it, and it didn't 100% land with me, but I'm like, oh, good for him. He's still weird as shit.
Yeah, he just throws in random things like when Harlan Williams breaks his leg on the skateboard ramp, and then he just licking it. He's just driving down the road. He sees a male horse trying to get the semen out of a horse, and he just pulls over and runs over and starts jerking off the horse. I think as you do. I mean, who else doesn't have the impulse? I mean, I think the funniest part of the movie is just his relationship with his dad, with Rip Torn.
I forgot Rip Torn. Yeah,
and there's definitely funny moments when
fingered him.
Yeah, when like he comes back home and his dad sees him playing the keyboard with the sausages hanging, and Rip Torn's like, "Look, our son has decided a creative way to eat sausages." And he has the, "Daddy, would you like some sausage? Daddy, would you like some sausage?" The backwards man. I'm the backwards man. I'm the backwards man.
Yeah.
I can run as fast as you can.
I can walk back as fast as you can. I'm the backwards man. The backwards man.
Yeah.
I like the part where she's getting ready to like go down on him, and she lifts his shirt up, and she's like, "What is this?" He goes, "Oh, that's my umbilical cord."
He takes the umbilical cord.
It's just for fun.
And yeah, and that actress who plays the cop in Super Troopers,
that's the same one.
She plays the local cop that gets in with whatever his character's name is.
Yeah.
Anyway, and she's like in a wheelchair, and she's a paraplegic, and she just likes to get caned in her shins. Like on their first date, she just has the bamboo stick hanging in the back of her chair, and he just goes in on.
She's like, "Ooh, I can feel a little tingle,"
and then she just loves to give blowjobs. And he's like, "Come on, Betty, it's our second date, and we haven't even gone out."
What a weird movie that was.
There's definitely moments of good comedy that I found funny, but overall, it's just like I wouldn't show this to Deanna. I wouldn't show this to my parents. I wouldn't show this to.
Well, yeah.
I wouldn't expose anybody to this.
Would you show Titan to your parents though?
The
answer's no.
Maybe.
No, I might suggest it to my mom, but I would tell her, this is a weird one.
This is a weird one.
Be prepared.
You wouldn't watch it with her.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it. It would be the first thing I put on. Probably Interview with the Vampire if I had to choose a movie to watch with my mom.
Yeah, that's Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah.
Or,
all right, Mom, do you want to watch?
Or a Serbian film.
Eyes Wide Shut, yeah. Caligula, or
what is it?
Titan.
Solo.
Yeah. Saltburn.
Yeah.
That's another fun one.
Family entertainment.
Another fun family pick.
Yeah, so Freddy Got Fingered, I mean, I'm sure most people who are listening to this probably have seen it already. But if you haven't, it's very absurd and it's very disgusting.
Where'd you watch it?
It's on Hulu and Pluto.
Okay, cool.
Right now.
Hey, before you move on, Heather's in the chat. She says, it took until Romulus to get the Alien movies all the way back to the Alien movies feel. Fincher just cooked too hard. I enjoyed it, Romulus.
Yeah.
And I that's how I feel about it. I'm like, this is it feels like an Alien movie. And yes, perhaps it was too much of it's lifted from the other stuff, but I felt like wholly 100% in the universe.
It leans on the other source material. But it blends it all well, in my opinion.
Yeah.
For a good Alien roller coaster. It reminds me of the old Alien ride that I went on like years ago in Disney World, that they eventually changed to like a Lilo and Stitch ride. The Alien ride was terrifying to go on as a child. All right, so the next stream pick, streaming on Netflix and Paramount Plus via Apple TV, Michael Bay's Pain and Gain.
Oh, I've never seen it.
Mark Wahlberg, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, starring, and who played? Oh, and Anthony Mackie.
Oh yeah,
and this is based on a true story.
Oh, okay.
So Dan,
just like Transformers.
Yeah, just like Transformers. And this is based on like a real event that happened. And Mark Wahlberg plays this guy named Daniel Lugo, who is a manager of the Sun Gym in the 1990s in Miami, and the way to achieve his American dream is through extortion, through one of his clients, because he's like a personal trainer.
Okay.
As well. And so he recruits Anthony Mackie and eventually The Rock, who is like a reformed convict. Like he spent time in prison and he got out and now he's sober and he's kind of like a big softie in this.
The Rock?
Yeah.
Nice.
And this movie was actually very entertaining.
Cool.
And very, very like hyper masculine, like borderline like homoerotic, like satirical, because they are just insanely jacked. And Anthony Mackie plays, I think, the funniest character, because there's a part where they're all in a strip club right now in the scene, and he's talking to The Rock, who's like, he's The Rock, so he's huge compared to Anthony Mackie, who's also like really buff in this. And Anthony Mackie's like, they're in this loud club, and Anthony Mackie's like, "Do you drink breast milk?" And he's like, "What?" He's like, "Do you drink breast milk?" And he's like, "No, should I?" He's like, "Yeah, man, you get HGH like straight from the source. You know, I got this pregnant lady who's clean, and he's got like a little bottle, almost like a sippy cup of breast milk that he's drinking."
Oh my God.
And he's always asking The Rock, like, he's like, "How much protein you eat?"
Yeah.
He's trying to get advice, and his character suffers from ED, erectile dysfunction.
Oh no, okay.
And he gets in a relationship with his doctor, played by Rebel Wilson, who's kind of a funny character. She's not in it that much, but Mark Wahlberg is actually like, he fits this role pretty well, because it's almost like the way he like acts is funny, I feel like, in most movies, just because of the way he talks. But in this, it like works with the tone of the movie, because it is crazy. It's a crazy story. They basically just they kidnap a client, hold him for hostage, and then essentially steal his identity in front of him. And they like torture him for days to get him to sign papers to like transfer money over.
I think I've seen that scene. Yeah.
And The Rock is like acting like the nice guy for the most part, and they just like take turns watching this guy in this warehouse. But it was fun. I enjoyed it.
Cool, nice.
Pain and Gain, streaming on Netflix and Paramount Plus and Apple TV. The last movie I watched streaming on Hulu, newer movie, came out last year, called La Chimera, La Chimera. This is starring Josh O'Connell from Challengers, most recently.
Okay.
And this was a very interesting movie. It takes place, I think, mostly in Italy. It's mostly a foreign language film. There's like maybe one sentence spoken in English.
Okay.
From Josh O'Connell, and he speaks like Italian for the whole movie. And it's a really kind of like I want to say it's like a nothing movie because there's not like a clear plot throughout the story. His character, he's the main character, and he is just out of jail, and he's like a rogue archaeologist.
Okay.
And he has like I don't want to say he's like psychic abilities or like he's just has you know that little trick you do to find a well with a stick?
Oh, divining rod.
Yeah. He's got like that, but with finding like old artifacts in the ground.
Okay.
And it's not really a comedy, but there's like slight funny moments in it. And it's shot really well. I think it was shot on film. At least it looks like it. And he is the only known actor that I know in this movie. Everyone else is like native to where they're shooting, or they're just foreign actors. And he gets out of jail and he reconnects with his crew of like other rogue archaeologists. They basically find old artifacts and sell it to a dealer, like a curator.
Okay. What's the name mean? La Chimera.
La Chimera? I don't know.
Two-faced? Something like that? Is he a dirtbag?
I have no idea. Okay. Yeah, it's just like a ragtag group of these guys they're not criminals, but they are breaking the law essentially.
Okay.
And it has vibes of like an old time movie because there are moments in the movie which are like undercranked where it's like sped up.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That's weird.
Yeah, and it is a very kind of odd movie, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the vibe of it. It was like a mixture of like Call Me by Your Name and the Before trilogy, and like because those movies don't really feel like they have like a forward plot, like A to B to C storyline, but you kind of get it.
Okay,
kind of get it. So it's a kind of a slow burn for sure. But
is it a comedy?
Kind of.
Okay.
It's kind of a comedy.
It's a clever.
It's more of a drama.
Clever drama.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just kind of a strange movie. It's like almost like a fairy tale, like kind of like a very subtle fairy tale.
Okay.
And it's streaming on Hulu, and so that's kind of a hard recommend just because of the nature of how slow it is, and the lack of plot.
What do you give it for a rating?
I gave it a 4 out of 5, just because based on
good.
based on how it looks and just like how it made me feel. Basically, it was like almost like a travel video.
Oh, okay, interesting.
But with like a loose plot,
like Call Me by Your Name, where you get this amazing Italian countryside and villa and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So even if you don't like the movie, you still get to look at that.
Yeah. And then the last movie, not streaming anywhere right now. I saw it in theaters. I went and saw Cuckoo.
Cuckoo.
Starring one Dan Stevens and one Hunter Schafer and some other people. And I liked it quite a bit.
Better than Chimera?
I mean, totally different movies, but it was
I'm really curious about this one.
It was definitely cuckoo. The plot is very cuckoo. I feel like it was a story that would fit into like an 80s B horror movie.
Okay.
But like with modern performances. Dan Stevens is really good. His accent, he's German in this, and he has a German accent. Little inconsistent, but he gives a great performance. And Hunter Schafer is also really, really good in this movie. And there's some really kind of interesting directing choices that I just didn't understand because there's lore I'm unaware of. You can kind of surmise from the name of the movie the kind of plot that it would entail.
There's going to be a supplantation of some person.
Yeah, a little
bit.
And there's some interesting design choices for like the creatures or whatever.
There's creatures, sweet.
Yeah, more or less humanoid creatures.
This is probably my favorite trailer I've seen. And I don't watch a ton of them start to finish, but I was watching.
Yeah.
I usually go watch like the first 15, 20 seconds. And if I'm like, ooh, that looks good, I'm out. I'll just commit to watch the movie. But this trailer is really suspenseful.
Yeah. And you kind of wonder where it's going for a lot of it. And then when things get revealed, you kind of like, you're like, oh, okay, that kind of makes sense. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
There's other subtle things. And I'm like, why are they doing that? What is the point of that? I feel like there's something there that I'm just I don't fully understand. Okay. But there's a lot of really great visuals. It takes place in like Bavaria. Mm-hmm. Is it the Bavarian Alps or the German Alps in Bavaria? Bavarian Alps in Germany.
I don't know. I've never heard of that. I just call them the Alps.
I honestly thought it took place in Yosemite based on the trailer. But yeah, it's a really great location, and the ending of the movie kind of fizzles out. But for the leading up to that moment, it was a good suspenseful time and creepy.
Cool. So better than Lose.
Better than Lose.
Tillman Singer, same writer director.
Yeah, and it's almost like the plot kind of reminded me of Society, where it's like there's one person, it's like everyone else is crazy, and this one person is like, you guys don't see what's going on here.
Got it.
Type of thing.
Yeah.
All
right. Cool.
Some really cool
So we're seeing in theaters.
I guess. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it's not. I wouldn't say it's a waste of your money.
Yeah. But it's something that if you were to wait to stream, it'd probably be just as effective.
Yeah, a lot of great like sound design elements in it too, with some of the creatures and like, or with the one creature, whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was all very intriguing and interesting.
Got it. Awesome. Cool.
Yeah, very divisive though. It seems though on how people on the reception.
Yeah,
kind of like Long Legs.
Interesting. Hey, you mentioned Dan Stevens' accent. I want to highlight this is an accent for a character he played on the Cabinet of Curiosity, Del Toro's Cabinet of Curiosity, one of the shorts.
Scalpel.
You don't have to go under the knife to achieve perfection. Just use Arlo Glow.
It's that glow.
Transform yourself from ugly duckling to stunning swan for just $199.99. Call the number on your screen now.
I love that accent.
That was it's like a transatlantic kind of accent.
It reminds me of Matt Berry's character from What We Do in the Shadows, the TV show.
Mm-hmm. Arizona.
Yeah. This is just how we talk in Tucson, Arizona.
New York City.
I'm just your average blue jean wearing Yankee Doodle Dandy Jackie Daytona. Anyways, I love Dan Stevens, so I can't wait to watch that one.
Yeah, he's kind of like been on a horror thon.
Well, he did The Guest.
The Guest, Abigail.
And he did he was an all-American Yankee Doodle Dandy in The Guest too.
Yeah.
What else? Kong versus Godzilla, X-Kong, New Empire, or whatever it's called. That one. He was this kaiju vet.
Yeah. But he's like I want to say he's like the new Ryan Gosling, but he's like
he's a more charming Ryan Gosling.
I guess
I love him.
Yeah, he's good. I'm not getting tired of him, but
yeah, I haven't seen anything in him that he's been in that I'm like, oh, this guy again.
The first time I saw him was, I think it was Beauty and the Beast, the live action Beauty and the Beast.
I haven't seen that.
He plays the Beast.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, that's it.
Awesome. All right, a couple things before I give my streaming picks. Number one, Eric in the chat says, "How dare you? Loose is great."
Loose.
I suppose it's an acquired taste. I didn't like it. It was a lot of great ideas that didn't come together.
Is it foreign? German?
It's Argentinian, but there's a lot of Germans in Argentina. It was one I was my picks last week. And Tillman Singer, obviously German name, set this one in Germany.
Tillman Singer?
Yeah, Tillman. So I asked, Bruce actually asked in the chat, what's the most inappropriate movie that your parents shown to you? So I asked the chat to chime in. Bruce says Risky Business. He was 10, and Richard Pryor live on the Sunset Strip. I can only imagine. I've seen just a few clips of Richard Pryor stand-up bits, and that sounds rough.
I don't know. about my parents like specifically showing me. It's more like I was in the room and they had no regard.
Yeah.
my mom had more regard. My dad and my brothers did not. So like from dusk till dawn.
Yeah.
I watched as a young.
How old-ish were you?
I mean, whenever it came out on VHS.
Yeah.
Probably.
Mine was probably Schindler's List.
Mm-hmm.
I was 8, maybe 9 when it came out on home video. Yeah, that was rough. That was a lot. I'm like, wow, there's a lot of sad people in this. Like a lot.
Yeah.
But the real most traumatic movie is something we covered many times on the show is E.T. I was shown E.T. when I was about 5, maybe, and that fucked me up. I was fucked for that.
I remember hearing not necessarily a movie, I guess kind of like a short film, but the Thriller music video would scare my brothers when it was first released.
Yeah, that's interesting. I can see that. So we have a bunch more people in the chat who chimed in. We have Joseph Bridges says, "My parents don't believe in seeing movies, so I just watch them on my own since I was a kid. Hence my all over the place likes." Angry Otter says, "Wild Orchid, but it's still a favorite to this day. I didn't know what that was, so I looked it up. Wild Orchid is a Mickey Rourke movie.
Wild Orchid.
Under sex and nudity on the parent guide, it's severe.
Severe?
Yeah. One couple hops on a table and has implied intercourse. A masquerade where dozens of couples rub up against each other suggestively. Nipples of a couple of partygoers are seen, as well as other women's full frontal." I don't know how old he was when he watched this, but young, apparently.
I remember begging my dad to take me to the movies to see Freddy vs. Jason.
Oh, that's a fun movie.
Yeah. So I watched that in theaters.
Yeah, this is a erotica movie, Wild Orchid.
Oh, this is porn.
Yeah, this is just porn. I mean, it's not Caligula, but it's close. Heather says, "My folks took me to see Jaws' first run in '75. She was 6.
Wow.
Fuck."
I was just talking to my mom yesterday about The Exorcist. She's only seen it once, and she saw it at the drive-in.
Yeah, The Exorcist?
Yeah.
My aunts all snuck out to watch that when it first came out, and then they all had nightmares and couldn't tell their parents because they weren't supposed to watch the movie.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Heather also says, "Thinking back, Disney films were scarier. Snow White and Bambi, particularly.
Yeah.
Bambi was my first theater movie. First theater movie my parents took me to.
Bambi?
Yeah, Bambi. Mm-hmm.
I mean, when did it come out?
It must have been a re-release.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fathom event.
Exactly. Okay, cool. So I'm on to my streaming picks. Number 1, first off, Longlegs is available for rent.
Oh, okay.
I did not get to see it with Brianna in theaters. She's a huge crime thriller fan. Some of her favorite movies are Prisoners, Seven, really anything that has to do with like serial killers, Silence of the Lambs, stuff like that. So she was really excited about it because he was getting all this buzz about, Silence of the Lambs-esque with, some twists and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And so she was kind of bummed she wasn't able to come see it with me in theaters. So we watched it together last night. And I think I gave it 4 stars on a rewatch or on the initial watch.
Mm-hmm.
It is so much better on a second watch. I caught a ton of details that I missed on the first run, and the story makes a lot more sense. And watching it now on a second time, knowing what the reveal is and knowing what
you're looking
for, you're like, they tell you the whole thing. They tell you it all right in front of you.
Yeah.
But if you're not picking up on all the details and all the little hints and stuff like that, you're like, okay, well, it doesn't make any sense. Why is I didn't even explain the ball in the head.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. And there is a hidden devil figure that is visible in the background of many, many dark scenes.
The design of the devil is not subtle at all.
No, it's not. It's Baphomet. Basically.
His appearance is.
Yeah. And I saw it like
a couple times.
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3 times where it's really obvious.
Yeah.
And then, but I saw some posts about it after, recently about the movie, and they said, oh yeah, there's 10 to 15 hidden devils in the movie.
It's like the hidden Mickeys in Disneyland.
Yeah. And so I was watching for it. I'm like, ooh, fuck. Ooh, that's scary. Ooh, that's creepy. Yeah. And there's actually a musical motif that goes along with it.
Really?
It's not really a musical motif. It's more of just an undertone of dread.
Like a sound effect,
yeah,
kind of?
Like like that low rumble, And whenever the devil, not every time the devil was on screen, but there were certain sounds within the sound design of like the score. Our dog would go crazy. Sam would go crazy.
He hears the devil.
Yeah, he don't like it. He's a good Christian boy.
He's a God-fearing Christian. This Shih Tzu.
Yeah, this is a Shih Tzu. So Long Legs, it's $20 rental, but you can. I think you can buy it for like $25. I think.
Oh, okay.
I have the Steelbook pre-ordered, so we're gonna.
Oh, really? It's a Steelbook.
Yeah, it was a UK only edition. Joe Bridges actually helped me secure it, and Jason Kleberg. We were on Twitter looking for. Trying to find it, and anyways, it was a long story, but it's pre-ordered. So Long Legs, yeah, better on a second watch. If you haven't seen it yet, go check it out or wait for it to come down in price because I know that is a little lofty, $20. Second movie, and I'm not doing this worst to first. I'm just kind of throwing it out there.
I'm spitballing here.
Yeah, I'm spitballing. Next one, this is an in-theater only movie that I highly recommend you go to the theater to see. This is called Strange Darling. Technically listed as 2023 because it came out on the festival circuit last year, but it is only available now. This is written and directed by J.T. Molnar. This is produced and DP'd by Giovanni Ribisi, and it's just starring Kyle Gallner and what is her name? Willa Fitzgerald. The two of them.
Fitzgerald.
Yeah, I think
you don't see that name that often. Fitzgerald.
I don't know. I've known like 4 or 5 people that are Fitzgeralds. Jack Fitzpatrick. It's close.
Fitzpatrick.
I called him Jack Fitzgerald one time, and he said, "I don't care. That's fine."
Jack Fitzgeraldo
also has Jason Patrick in it. Ed Begley Jr., Barbara Hershey, Stephen Michael Quezada, who plays Gomi in Breaking Bad. Very, very small cast. Very, very tight movie. And this is shot 100% on 35 millimeter. They make a big deal about it. They show it, the big text on screen at the beginning, shot entirely on 35 millimeter. And it is an absolutely gorgeous movie. It's so beautiful. There is a number of exterior like shots in the woods because this takes place in Hood River County, Oregon. And it follows a real life serial killer. And they say it's one of the more inventive serial killers and the most prolific serial killers of the 21st century. So it talks about the last kills leading up to the capture of this serial killer. And it's a true story, supposedly. I don't know. I didn't look it up or anything. But what I'll say about this is it's a suspense thriller. It's a crime thriller. It's a serial killer drama. But it is more action and suspense than it is about like decoding and finding, because the whole movie is told from the perspective of the killer and the victim, and you have this Kyle Gallner who's always very dreadful in a lot of his movies. Very rarely do you see him in a pure as white good guy role,
He's always he's very questionable.
Yes,
a man of questionable integrity.
Yeah, he's either outright the bad guy or questionable at best.
Yeah.
Except for Smile, he was like a good guy, but he always got that like kind of dark edge to him. So you're following him and Willa Fitzgerald in this cat and mouse sort of game, this chase, and the movie it says a thriller in 6 chapters is what it says at the beginning, and then it starts on like chapter 3.
Oh, interesting. It goes out of order.
It goes completely out of order. And the way that the storytelling unfolds, because it goes chapter 3, and then it's chapter 1, and then chapter 4, and then chapter 2. And you're like, well, now you're in my head, I was thinking, now I know that guy's going to die. So, but the experience of the storytelling to get there, when you already have your preconceived notions about what that scene is going to, how that scene is going to unfold.
Yeah.
And then the way it really does is really, really fantastic. So wonderful writing, wonderful acting. The visual aspect of it is amazing. It's very, 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 it feels like a special movie in a way, if that makes sense. And it's a very, very independent movie. It was a limited release. You could only see this in Natomas here. Had to drive to Natomas to see it. And then Bruce was talking about it, and he's like, it's not even playing anywhere near him.
Yeah.
So if you're lucky enough to have Strange Darling playing near you, go see it in theater. It's a really, really good one.
Good couple movie?
If your couple's into murder, if like Brianna, I wish she could have seen it with me, but again, she wasn't able to. Thrilling? Yes, very thrilling. Very thrilling. And it's very unique, It's So
who's the director?
J.T. Molnar also wrote and directed it. His catalog is pretty small. This is probably going to be his most well-known movie.
Magnum opus.
Yeah. And again, DP'd by Giovanni Ribisi.
That's so... When I saw the trailer, I remember seeing his name, and I'm like, they made it a point to tell us who the DP was. I'm like, Giovanni Ribisi?
Yeah.
The actor?
Yeah, he produced it as well. Steven Schneider, Roy Lee, Bill Block produced it with Ribisi. And then at the very end, it says cinematography, Giovanni Ribisi.
And they shot on 35 millimeter.
Yeah, and it's gorgeous. It's not like it's a...
They made it a point also to say that in the movie.
Yes.
In the beginning?
Specifically. He has text on screen for like the first 2 minutes of just setting up what's happening.
Interesting.
It's very artsy in a sense, and I liked it. So, you know,
okay.
It's a movie that I think does well in theaters because there's a lot. It forces you to lock in on the characters, and the characters are fantastic in this. And what I didn't say too is Willa Fitzgerald, best performance of the year for me.
Okay.
Yeah, easy. She's really, really good in this. And Kyle Gallner is usually great. He's great here, but she overshadows him with just what she's putting. She leaves nothing behind.
She's more of the main character, is she?
She's first build.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it's really something. So go watch Strange Darling if you have it in your theater near you. Next up, to the streaming movies. I watched for Heather, Amazon Women on the Moon, 1987.
Where'd you find it?
It was like an Internet Archive thing. It's not really streaming anywhere available. Yeah, if you were to try to click on Just Watch, it doesn't show anything. But you can get it on Internet Archive. And this was actually very, very funny. Well, the reason it came up is that we watched Kentucky Fried Movie 2 weeks ago. The Kentucky Fried Movie. 2 weeks ago for Heather. It was Heather's Patreon pick. And it was more impactful for me as like a historical document. Like this was like sketch comedy and pushing the boundaries of like raunchy comedy back then, and so much that we see today really like owes a debt of gratitude to that movie. There was the Zucker, Abrams and Zucker first movie they had, and this one I think was produced by the same people, but was directed by a bunch of people. It was Joe Dante, Carl Gottlieb, Peter Horton, John Landis, and Robert K. Weiss. Weiss also produced it, written by Michael Berry and Jim Mulholland. And so it's just like Kentucky Fried Movie in the sense that it's small clips shown through a television, like they're people changing the channel. And one of the things I thought was interesting is at the beginning, there's like a news broadcast again, like Kentucky Fried Movie, and it says it's a news story about how the young generation has a problem with their short attention span. And I'm like, we're still talking about that shit. Oh, TikTok.
It's even worse now.
Because of TikTok, the young generation doesn't have a long attention span.
And the movies are getting longer.
Yeah. And this movie was from 1987, and they're saying it back then. So do we really have a shorter attention span now than we did back then? Probably. Have we hit critical mass of the short attention span?
Perhaps. I mean, with Vine, it started with 6-second videos.
I was going to say Vine is where it's
the idea of short content.
That's as short as it gets.
Yeah.
6 seconds or 7 seconds or whatever.
Yeah.
And it died out. So
unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't know.
Missed the Vine days.
Yeah, I feel like Vine boiled down to the same joke over and over again. It's like half a second setup and then something outrageous happens and then you go on to the next one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like with 7 seconds, you only have so much you can do within that format. But no, TikTok now is a couple minutes, 60 seconds is the kind of the standard, but you can get longer ones.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways.
I think you do 10-minute TikToks now.
Wow. Okay. Interesting.
I don't know why anyone would sit and watch a 10-minute TikTok.
I don't know. There's all kinds of activity in the chat. If you're not on the YouTube stream, you should come out and watch it live. It's a lot of fun. But anyways, back to Amazon Women on the Moon. A ton of very fun sketches in this. And I liked the fact that it was directed by multiple people because you get a different vibe. In Kentucky Fried Movie, it feels a little bit more repetitive. It feels like you're getting more of the same comedic timing and maybe lack of awareness where the punchline should end. And there's a variety in this. So, you get the whole thing is framed around a movies all night marathon, like uncut and uncensored movie stream, and it's Amazon Women on the Moon is the movie, and there's like from 1958 Amazon Women on the Moon presented to you uncut and commercial free, and the feed keeps getting screwed up. Like they're playing it on film and it jumps and cuts, and then there's like a cigarette burn, and then the actual film pauses and it burns up and melts the celluloid, and then it cuts away, and then it go to commercial break, and then it'll do a couple skits, and then it'll come back to the movie and say, back to Amazon Women in the Room. There will be no more commercial interruptions, and it lasts for about 5 minutes, and then it gets interrupted again. And that movie itself, the Amazon Women in the Moon movie within the movie, was super fun. Because it's 1950, the year actually changes. That's one of the jokes. Yeah. First they said 58, and then it said 55, and then it's 57. So it's 1957-ish, and it's 3 American men in a metal pointed spaceship that's going to the moon, and the moon is like on a string, and they're like, there we are on our way to the moon. What are you going to do when you get there, Jimmy? And he goes, I'm going to take a big old slice of that green cheese, that moon cheese. And then he like talks to the monkey on his shoulder. And he's like, what are you going to do when you go there, chimp chimp or whatever? And of course they go to the moon, and there's a colony. First off, there's dinosaurs on the moon, which is great. It's claymation dinosaur. And then there's a colony of Amazonian women that are all dressed in like go-go dresses and whatnot, and you look like you've never seen a man before. That's because we haven't. What's a man? Oh, a man's useless in our book. Da 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 da. Yeah. And that was funny in its own right. But Joseph, have you ever seen that picture of like a dinosaur or a Loch Ness monster type thing, and it's like in a dark alley, and it's huge, and it has like a hat on its head, looking down? Looks like
I don't think so.
Looks like this.
Is this like a picture that's been around?
I've seen it on the internet before. I didn't know where it was from. Here, it looks like this. You seen that before?
No, I have not.
So I've seen this picture before. It's basically a Loch Ness monster in a old-timey British suit and a hat, and standing in the darkness of like this street or whatever. And one of the segments is called Bullshit or Not, and it's like Ripley's Believe It or Not. And they're talking about Jack the Ripper. And they're like, one of our theories is that the Loch Ness Monster may have been the Jack the Ripper. And they do this bullshit reenactment, they call it. And it's like a prostitute, and she's trying to beg for customers or whatever.
Yeah, this thing.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can pull it up on here.
And then, she's like, oh, hey there, governor. You wanna go for a quid? And it looks up, and it's this giant Loch Ness Monster in a British... yeah, that's the hot shot. You might be able to just drag it right onto the screen.
Maybe.
We can just put it right on top of me. It's fine. I don't care.
Let's just we'll do this.
It was so there you go. It was so delightful when I saw it. It's on the screen. When I saw it pop up, I'm like, oh fuck, that's what this is from. I had no idea. And then it talks to her, and it's got just like, it speaks British, and they walk off together, and you hear a roar, and she screams, and it cuts back to the host, and the host is like, is this real or is this just bullshit? We don't know. Scientists will never know. And it was really ridiculous. There's a lot of really, really fun stuff here, so I won't go through all of them, but I will say that this was, I think, better produced and better made than Kentucky Fried Movie. Granted, this was 10 years later.
Yeah.
77 versus 87, right?
Yeah, 87, a little bit more recent.
But yeah, super, super fun. I liked it quite a bit. And David Alan Grier doing basically it was like a black man with no soul. And he was introduced to the movie as like a charity. And it was like, every 6 minutes, a black man is born in this country with no soul. And it shows all these like black people saying, the Republican Party works for me. And, when I pick a car, I look for reliability and space saving. That's why I got a station wagon. And then it cuts to David Alan Grier, and he's singing all these songs with no emotion at all. And it's really, really funny recurring bit. So there's a lot of really good stuff here to like, and I had a good time. So great recommendation, Heather. Amazon Women on the Moon. Good luck trying to find that somewhere though.
Where'd you find it? Huh?
Internet Archive.
Internet Archive.
Yeah.
What does that mean though?
It's a website called Internet Archive.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
In any movie that I've ever seen that is not available for streaming anywhere, you can usually go there and find it. I don't know if it's legal, so take that.
Don't we can?
I don't.
I
am the law. Yeah, exactly. Go do this. All right. Next up, I watched Dracula, the original Dracula.
Oh, the old.
Maybe not the original one, but from 1931 with Bela Lugosi. You can't stream this for free, so I won't spend a lot of time on it. It's like a $4 rental on
Internet
Amazon.
Archive.
Maybe. But I just want to say this is my first watch of the classic, the black and white classic. Bela Lugosi is a motherfucking G.
Oh, okay.
He nailed this.
Oh.
Like 100%.
There's audio in this.
Yes.
The sound.
Yeah, it's not like Nosferatu.
All right.
Good. It's It is fun though to watch like the set pieces. There's an exterior set where they're like on a patio, and you can clearly see the 90-degree angle walls where the shadows meet, and it's painted like the trees and the sky on it and stuff. And then the vampire bat comes in, and it's clearly a bat on a string, and they're just bouncing it up and down. It is very, very fun, and
they didn't have the capacity to shoot outside. Nor could they could put themselves wherever they want with a painted backdrop.
Yeah, I don't know. It was, but then again, there were some very huge set pieces. Like there's this giant staircase that's inside his Transylvanian castle that has no hand railing, and there's Bella and the two other leads, the guy that plays Renfield and the female lead, and they're like walking down this staircase, and I'm like, that's if they fell off that, he could break his leg.
Yeah, he would die.
That's the talent. Yeah, he might not die, but I mean, if he lands on his head, he would. But I'm like, long story short, it's a very cool movie. I understand why it became a classic. It makes sense. Going back and watching old movies.
At the time, it was not well received. An epic piece of trash.
Oh shit! Not again. All right, so that was Dracula from 1931. I went back and rewatched some Alien movies.
Oh, nice.
I'm rewatching the series. So Aliens, 1986.
You started with Aliens?
I jumped around. I watched Alien about 2 weeks ago. And then I was like, I'm going to watch them all before Romulus. And I didn't.
You got to catch up.
Yeah. So, and then technically I watched Resurrection next. And then. Actually, I watched Covenant first in the week. And then Resurrection and then Aliens. Then we started Prometheus, never finished it. I'll finish Prometheus, then I'll watch Alien 3, and I'll present my full ranking next week.
Odd, interesting order.
Yeah, just whatever.
I guess in theory, you would go Prometheus, Covenant, Alien, and then from there, right?
Alien, and then Romulus, and then Aliens, and then Resurrection.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Yeah.
So Aliens.
That's okay.
1986, Aliens. This has always been my favorite of the series, and I think it lost some of its fastball to me on this watch.
Really?
Yes. I was not enjoying it as much this time around.
That's kind of how I felt last time I watched it.
Yeah, I was very shocked when I heard that from you, and I watched it, and I felt the same thing. Very sadly, I was sad when it came out because last time I watched it was like five-star all-time classic, and I still think it is an all-time classic.
Yeah.
But comparatively to some of the other Alien movies, it's a better story. And it is a better advancement of a character that we love in Ripley. But I still think that the actual alien usage in something like Resurrection is done better.
It's a bold take.
Saying Alien Resurrection is better than Aliens is factually incorrect, but goddamn, they're close.
Please clap.
For different reasons.
They all have their strengths.
Yeah, exactly. Aliens is tense. The last act in the last 15-minute sequence where she goes down into the queen pit. It's like that production design of the queen and the eggs and all that stuff is hard to beat. The colonists being glued to the walls and the chest bursters coming out, that's fantastic. And the scene where the alien comes out of the water and gets Newt, what a beautiful shot that is. All that being said, the rest of the aliens, the xenomorphs in the series, in the franchise, or in that movie, don't really do a whole lot. There's a lot of them hanging out in the hallways, and then there's that one great shot where they're all crawling through the air shafts or whatever, and that's pretty cool. But it doesn't really culminate in anything. It's like Cameron was smart enough to kind of shoot around it and not make it look like a guy in a rubber suit, because that's what it was.
Yeah, Alien doesn't shy away from that.
No,
the one.
Yeah, that's a huge detractor.
Just takes you out of it.
Yeah. So I think that this probably still is my favorite of the group, but the chasm between first place and second place has dropped.
Oh, okay.
And Alien has dropped also. Alien is now like maybe third or fourth now for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I think my rating or feeling of Alien went up on the last viewing that I saw. And it was with a group of people who hadn't seen it, or a couple people haven't seen it in that group, and I was like, this is actually like a good movie.
It's a good movie on its own.
Yeah.
And it birthed this whole world and this whole franchise, which is inarguably an amazing feat. Having rewatched it multiple times over the years, again, it lost the edge to me. Alien.
What a bizarre franchise. Our feelings change on each viewing.
I know. Which I think is great because it really stimulates your mind, you know? And it's like, if I were to watch the same movie over and over again and I never get anything more or less from it, maybe that's not as good. I don't know. So anyways, Aliens 1986, all of them are streaming on Hulu. The entire series is on Hulu.
Oh, okay.
Cool. So, yeah,
So Aliens is still number one?
Still number one. But I watch Resurrection one more time and that might overtake it.
I feel like that's the worst rip.
Most people think Resurrection is dog shit, but I'll tell you, Alien Resurrection, 1997, directed by Jean-Pierre Jeunet.
Yeah.
The guy that directed Amelie and City of Lost Children, Delicatessen, and A Very Long Engagement.
Yeah. I think it has the worst Ripley.
She is not even herself.
Yeah,
really.
she's a clone.
She's she's Ripley 8 is what she is. This gets an extra star for having so much practical creature work. These aliens are the wettest.
They slop.
They are the wettest,
gushiest.
So when I think of Alien, like a xenomorph,
slime, I
think more of like a wet, not so much slime, because Aliens, it's thick, viscous slime.
Yeah, it's like pre-cum.
It's like a whole bowl of it. But
I've been saving my pre-cum.
At what point does it just become cum? Anyways,
post-cum.
I think of that when I think of that like viscous membrane,
oily.
Yeah, that like thick viscous nature of that sludge.
Yeah,
I think of inside the egg and like the birthing. But the actual xenomorphs, I feel like they always have like water draining off of them.
Yeah, they're like a bulldog, almost always drooling.
But even more than that, it's almost like you put a hose on the top of your head and you just walk around, and every time you open your mouth,
fountain of
it has to be just dripping off, like water cascading off of their face and mouth.
They're
all the
sweating
time.
all the time,
and they don't care because they don't have no eyes.
Yeah.
Right?
They ain't got no eyes. They can't see.
Yeah, have fun, Heather. Have fun at the ball game. Son of the Invisible Man. That's a sketch within Amazon Women on the Moon. Really fun. She says, catch that anywhere. That's really good. That's Ed Begley Jr. as the son of the Invisible Man. They're watching a classic 1950s movie, and he thinks he's invisible, and he unwraps his face, and he's not.
Oh.
And the guy who comes to like help him, he's like, I need a visible person to be my assistant. And he unwraps his face. He goes, don't be shocked. And the guy's like, okay. And he goes, watch this. And he unwraps his gloves. He goes, look, Ma, no hands. And he's just getting more and more naked. And the guy's like, maybe you should stop. And he gets completely naked. And he's like, have you ever seen a hat walk around before? And it's just Ed Begley Jr. nude running around this place pretending to be invisible because he thinks he is. Anyways, fantastic sketch. All right, back to Alien Resurrection. So the practical creature work in this, they're lousy with aliens in this movie.
Yeah.
The xenomorphs are everywhere, and they're cannibalizing each other. One of them uses a little mouth to press a button. Brad Dourif is in it, being weird as fuck.
Yeah.
I accidentally called him Steven Dorff last week, but Brad Dourif.
Oh yeah.
So weird in this. Extra points for him. Extra points for the xenomorph using the little mouth to press the button to terrorize
it's multi-purpose, multi-use.
Yeah. That's like if you were to use your tongue to press a button.
Yeah,
it makes no sense. Hold on, let me press this button real quick.
Or like using your boner to push a button.
Yeah, it makes no sense, but it's just great. Extra star for making me feel bad for the alien baby.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The alien baby
At the end,
the hybrid,
and he's like, "Mom!" Basically, he's like screaming for his mom.
Yeah, as he's getting sucked out of the hole,
the tiny hole.
Can you imagine
his innards getting sucked out of the
terrifying sound of him being disemboweled from through the back,
through your butthole, like in Final Destination?
God, it's the worst. It's the worst. It's the only movie to make me feel bad for the xenomorph. And an extra star for mutated Ripley 9 on the operating table.
Oh yeah,
she's like hideous and kill me.
Yeah,
and you're like, you have a gun. You could put a bullet in her head and then torch the body. But no, they fucking torch her though, start to finish.
Not like this.
She burns to death. Yeah, kill me fast, please.
Kill me in a very quick and efficient way.
Yeah, so there's so many things to like about this movie. Ron Perlman is great in this.
The basketball scene.
Yeah, the basketball scene is goofy as fuck. It's so cheesy. But I will say this is probably the most fun Alien movie in the franchise.
Really?
Yeah, it's so fun. It is ridiculous. Brie and I to watch it together, and she's like, this doesn't even feel like an Alien movie.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember going through all the Alien movies because I have like the 6-movie collection up to Covenant. And just watching it in order. And they're all, I feel like, fun in their own way.
Yeah.
And Alien is just a straight up sci-fi horror movie. Aliens is an action movie. Alien 3 is a prison escape movie. Alien 4 is just a crazy
Alien Resurrection, yeah.
Crazy fun time.
Yeah. So anyways, that's a 97, also streaming on Hulu. I watched Alien Covenant, 2017. This, as a movie, not an Alien movie, it's amazing. The idea of David turning on his creator and trying to find basically God.
Yeah.
He's like, he hates his father / creator so much that he finds the guy that made him to go kill him, basically, like that in his own lore.
Yeah.
It's so weird. And I really like the fact that they took the fact that the androids grow hair in Prometheus, that concept, and extended it because he's got the long, crazy hair.
Yeah.
In that. And Fassbender doing 2 different accents in the same movie. Great. Love that.
You blow, I'll do the fingering.
There's a lot to love about Covenant. The devil dogs, the little Xeno dogs.
Yeah.
Not a huge fan. The CGI should have been better in 2017.
I didn't like the story-wise, I didn't like what they did with Shaw. I don't.
Oh, that she
from Prometheus.
Yeah, that was disrespectful.
Because the end of Prometheus, it's like we're gonna go to these worlds and explore and find our creator, and then Covenant, it's like, what happened to all that?
They made it to the first one and then died.
Yeah, or murdered.
Yeah. Also, yeah, Billy Crudup in Covenant. What a fucking choice that was.
Yeah.
They're like, we're 100 light years from what we're actually going to go to, our colonization point, which we studied for decades, chosen this plot, and then he just happens to pass by a planet and goes, maybe we can live there.
Yeah. Let's check it out.
They don't know. They don't even know if there's oxygen on the surface. And he's like, we have to try. And you're like, we fucking dope. Are you kidding me? So there's a lot of like bad decisions in this, but it is super funny.
I feel like that's a rule in sci-fi. The characters have to make a bad decision. Let's just take our helmets off.
Yeah, exactly.
Filmed in Sound in New Zealand, by the way.
Oh, really? It makes sense. It's gorgeous.
There's
Prometheus too, gorgeous.
I like to bring this up because it's just a crazy coincidence. I went to New Zealand in 2016 for my honeymoon and went to Milford Sound, which is like an out-of-world place. And there's a specific shot when they're first arriving on the planet where you see the ship flying through the mountains.
Yeah.
I took a picture in Milford Sound when I was on, like, because there's like cruises you can go on. Mm-hmm. I took a picture that is essentially almost exactly the same framing of that shot.
It's very cool.
That I'm like, I was just there. When I saw it in theaters, it blew my mind.
You're like, what the fuck?
They took inspiration from me.
Yeah.
Also, there's like, there's a bunch of stuff filmed there. Like part of Mission Impossible, one of the Mission Impossible movies where he's getting married in Milford Sound.
I feel like Iceland and New Zealand both have a lot of otherworldly stuff shot there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Angry Otter in the chat, he says CGI should have been better in 2017. Circling back to Rook in Alien Prometheus
or
Romulus. I mean, sorry. Absolutely, it should be better in 2024 too.
Yeah.
So, anyways, Alien Covenant, I still think it's a 4-star movie.
Nice.
Alien Resurrection, 4-star movie. Aliens, 4.5.
Okay.
4.5.
So they're all still good movies.
Every movie in the franchise is good. And we covered Alien 3 for the show. I will go back and rewatch it. I'm going to finish Prometheus probably tonight and then watch 3 tomorrow, and we'll have a definitive ranking next week.
Yeah.
All right, so that's all I got.
All right.
You got anything else?
No, I got nothing else.
All right, so thank you to our cool-ass yard duties. Let's see. I have updated the list because we've had some changes over there.
Okay.
So that is Javier, Heather, Chris, Michael, and Steven. Michael's Angry Otter.
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Your friend requested me on Facebook.
Yeah, that's right. And if you want to support us, you can do so at patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass, or you can just watch the YouTube channel. That makes a big difference. We have hit our hourly number, and we're just working on trying to get some subscribers.
What do you like? 300, 400 more?
300 and something, yeah. If we get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year, we'll be able to make some money on the YouTube.
You got 4 months.
Yeah, share with your friends. If you're listening to this and you're watching this, share with your friends. Anybody who you know that likes movies and likes to laugh, have them follow the YouTube channel, please. Until next time. Thank you for following us today as we, Gab and Chatter, sans Tyler. Let us follow us later on in the week as we review The Core, or if you're on the YouTube, just stick around for about 15 minutes and we'll be right back. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Middle Class Film Class, and follow us on Twitter at Podcast MCFC.
Absolutely. We hope Tyler's feeling better. I hope he doesn't actually have coronavirus, but we'll see.
Yeah, I guess we'll see.
All right, we'll see you next time.
See ya.
I did love this movie. I didn't love this movie.
Oh my god! What? Hey, you're here. She was hot, dude.
Huh?
Oh, it's time for class.
Class is in session!
Roll call!
Bueller?
I'm gonna be late for class.
Bueller?
Am I hallucinating here? Just what in the hell do you think you're doing?
I'm late for class.
You are mine now. You belong to me.
Did you study for the test?
No more complaining. No more Mr. Kim left to go to the bathroom. Nothing. There is no bathroom.
Hello, classmates. Welcome to another episode of Middle Class Film Class. I'm your host for today, Pete.
And I'm Joseph.
And we have no Tyler over there today. He is not feeling well. We wish him well. And in his absence, we will be watching and reviewing. Well, not watching. I guess just
reviewing. We have watched.
Yeah, we have watched, and now we will review. My choice from the Wheel of Destiny, 2003's The Core.
It was a secret government program known as Project Destiny.
We're building a weapon that could generate targeted seismic events.
Designed to use earthquakes to attack our enemies.
I'm getting a seismic reading.
It was a perfect, untraceable weapon.
Destiny is a go.
Until something went wrong.
That's an electrical superstorm popping up all over the world.
Dear God.
I'll put this as simply as I can.
God.
Everybody on Earth is dead in a year. The core of the Earth has stopped spinning. The spinning core protects us from cosmic radiation. Without it, radiation will create superstorms. Microwaves will literally cook our planet. How could this have happened? It was Project Destiny. We killed the planet. So,
surprise!
Oh,
we can't.
They killed the world. That answers the question in Fury Road. Who killed the world?
We're here about your
Aaron
legendary
Eckhart did.
ship. What would it take to get it in
Stanley
3
Tucci.
months?
Stanley Tucci with hair.
You take a check? We need you to control the flow of information.
And DJ Qualls.
I'm gonna need Star Trek tapes and Hot Pockets.
You are good. Is there anything you can't do?
Not that I'm aware of.
You're trying to
Get
save
a
the world.
boyfriend.
It's impossible. I came here to save my wife and children. I just hope I'm brave enough to save 3.
I can't wait to get into an untested ship, go to the center of the Earth, and restart its core with 1,000 megatons of nuclear weapons. Then we outrun the biggest shockwave in history.
Hot damn.
Cisco is in.
Yeah,
The
wait.
West Coast is out, and it's decaying faster than we thought.
2, 1. We're going in.
To the core.
I love this trailer.
Whoever goes into the core
intense.
is not coming back.
oxygen! Reach! Oh my god! What?
You rock a bit.
Dude, what the fuck?
All right, what a trailer.
Epic.
My heart is pounding for The Core.
Yeah.
I can't wait to... Oh, wait, I already watched The Core. So The Core, 2003. This is tagged as a disaster, sci-fi epic, action-adventure, thriller, dark comedy on IMDb.
What?
Yes. Directed by John Amiel. A-M-I-E-L. I don't know if that's Amiel or Amiel.
Amiel?
I'm going to say Amiel. I'm going to say John Amiel. John Amiel, written by Cooper Lane and John Rogers, starring Aaron Eckhart as Josh, Hilary Swank as Beck.
Josh.
Yeah, exactly. Delroy Lindo as Brazelton. Bruce Greenwood as Commander Richard Iverson. Christopher Perry. I'm going to skip some of these guys until we get to the core group. Richard Jenkins as General Purcell. And Stanley Tucci. Where's the Tooch?
Where's the Tooch?
He's not even on the main page.
He's like in most of the movies.
I know.
Like 90% of the movie.
I remember last week when it landed on, and you're like, isn't Tucci in that? I'm like, I don't think so. I don't see him in this anywhere. He's like 30th build as Zimski.
That's insane.
I know, very weird. And then DJ Qualls as Rat.
That's the unfortunate character name. What do you call DJ Qualls? Rat.
Well, that's his hacker name. He wants to be called Rat.
Yeah.
Just like Mouse from Matrix.
I guess so.
But that was already taken because this was from 2003 and the Matrix came out a few years before that.
So you're also a hacker. Different type of rodent.
Yeah, I'm a different rodent. I'm the bigger one. I'm the meaner one.
Yeah.
So yeah, this movie, the reason why I chose it for us to review on the show is because I heard the premise, which I will read now. The only way to save Earth from catastrophe is to drill down to the core and set it spinning again. That's a terrible, terrible one-sentence synopsis from IMDb. Who wrote that?
Is that it? That's it?
That's the whole thing.
Oh.
From Letterboxd, geophysicist Dr. Josh Keyes discovers that an unknown force has caused the Earth's inner core to stop rotating. With the planet's magnetic field rapidly deteriorating, our atmosphere literally starts to come apart at the seams with catastrophic consequences. To resolve the crisis, Keyes, along with a team of the world's best, most gifted scientists, travel into the Earth's core. Their mission, to detonate a device that will reactivate the core. Reactivate or make it spin again. How do you blow something up and make it spin without destroying it?
They're assuming that it's almost like jump starting a car, right? The pistons are firing, or what? Push starting a car.
Yeah, like push starting or jump starting a car.
Yeah,
it's
you get the pistons moving. You start in second gear. And then
there is. So yeah, and the way that works, just we'll take a
car analogy,
small car, car talk for a second. You have your drive line is moving, and the only way you can push start a car like that or pop the clutch, as they say, is you have to have a manual transmission. So you put the clutch in, it disconnects the flywheel from the pressure plate, and you are basically free spinning on your drive line. When you release the clutch, they re-engage to the back of the motor on the flywheel, and it's almost like this big spinning textured plate, but it's moving with the wheels and it's not touching anything. And then when you release the clutch pedal, it forces it into the backside of the engine on the flywheel, and it basically grabs the friction of it, and it forces. It's almost like taking a propeller on a big plane and going and throwing it down. That's what you're doing when you pop the clutch. I don't think they're doing that to the Earth's core.
No,
but that's essentially the science behind it.
They just bring a bunch of nukes and gonna explode them, and then this should work.
Are you familiar with Speed Racer, the cartoon?
Yes.
There's an old episode of Speed Racer, the cartoon, the anime, called the Mammoth Car. And the Mammoth Car enters the race, and it's basically a train. It's a huge multi-segmented, gigantic behemoth of a car, but it's really it's like a train. It's like if you were to take an Amtrak vehicle and put wheels on it that could drive on the street, and you race that in a race.
Yeah.
I don't know how it's possible in that cartoon episode for it to be fast enough to compete with these high-performance vehicles, but the whole premise of that is that it's made of gold, and that's how they're smuggling the gold across state lines. Is they molded it into this car.
Oh.
and it has to be so big because there's so much gold.
Okay.
The train, or this device that burrows into the Earth's core in this movie, looks exactly like the mammoth car from Speed Racer.
Oh, really?
It's so it's just a long train of drill whatever designed by Delroy Lindo.
Yeah. Physician, scientist, engineer,
Astrophys-
Delroy Lindo.
Brazelton. So yeah, interesting cast, good cast, bonkers plot, and
insane story.
And I thought, what is this movie? And why do I not know who John Emile or Cooper Lane and John Rogers, the three people essentially that are responsible for this Vakakna movie?
Yeah, what other movies are they responsible for?
So John Emile, he's credited as a director, writer, and producer. He directed Copycat from 1995, Entrapment with Sean Connery and Catherine Zeta-Jones in 1999, Tune In Tomorrow in 1990. He did 2 episodes of The Walking Dead in 2022.
Okay. The only one I've heard of is...
A lot of TV series stuff in the last, 15, 20 years.
The only one I've heard of is Copycat, I'm pretty sure.
You haven't heard of Entrapment? It's got the famous scene where she's trying to, sneak around the lasers and her, butt sticking up, and Sean Connery's like, yes. Yes.
No. Yes.
More slowly.
Is that what he's...
More or less. Hey, do you know what time Sean Connery arrives to Wimbledon? About 10-ish.
Yeah.
10-ish?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's pretty much all that this guy's responsible for. And then they gave him this insane disaster movie after Entrapment. 1999 was Entrapment, and then 2003 was The Core.
The Core.
5.3 on IMDb.
Not super high.
No. But I gotta say, Rotten Tomatoes is a pass or fail rating. 50% on Rotten Tomatoes means half the people said it's good. I recommend it. It's not a 50% movie. It's not like
it's 50% good.
50% is a thumbs up, basically.
Yeah.
And on Rotten Tomatoes, this is 34% audience score, 39% from critics.
So 34% of the audience liked it.
Said you should go see The Core.
Yeah.
A third of the people said you should go see The Core. The rest of them are like, don't watch that trash.
So the majority didn't like it.
Yeah, this is rotten. This is a certified rotten on the tomato meter and the popcorn meter. So, I'd never seen it before. Tyler saw it before. You've seen it before.
Yeah.
Do you want to give your instant or your initial reaction to this?
Sure.
On a rewatch?
Yeah. I think the last time that I watched this movie was when it was in theaters in 2003. And I was, 21 years younger than I am now. So I was like, I was like 11.
Yeah, I was going to say you're 11.
Yeah.
You watched this first run.
Yeah. And I remember also coming into the movie about 5 or 10 minutes late to the opening.
Okay.
So I missed the scene that I saw first was the birds dying.
Okay, yeah. So you're probably 8 minutes, 7, 8 minutes.
So I missed the first part of people collapsing, and the guy is who walks into the meeting, let's make $30 million. And then he proceeds to pass out and die.
Yeah.
But so I missed that part, and I don't think I ever watched it again. At least ever. I never saw the beginning until this watch.
Okay.
Which didn't add much really, other than just the people dying.
Yeah.
And I feel like I remember it being a lot better. In my 12-year-old brain, I think I enjoyed it a lot more than my almost 32-year-old brain. And
the PlayStation 2 was released in the year 2000, so this was 3 years after.
Yeah.
I remember remarking, and some of the games I was playing on PlayStation 2, that the graphics will never be better than this.
Yeah.
And thinking, holy shit.
We've reached the peak.
Are you serious? Resident Evil 3? These zombies they're unbelievable.
I can't tell the difference between...
I can reach in and touch them.
humans and a video game. This has the budget of a disaster movie.
Yeah. Like a Roland Emmerich type
Independence
movie.
Day.
Yeah.
But maybe not based on some of the CGI in this movie.
Yeah.
And it has the plot and I guess the CGI of like a sci-fi original movie.
Yeah, a lot of it does. Yeah.
Watching it, I was like, this feels the acting, the writing, and the effects,
The execution of the CG.
all felt very much like this feels like I would find this on the Sci-Fi Channel as an original property from them, the Sci-Fi original production.
Yeah.
It was entertaining, I guess. I think some of the performances were good. The performances kind of carried it a little bit, like Stanley Tucci and Delroy Lindo.
Yeah.
They're
He never gives a bad performance, Delroy.
they're a little kind of rivalry.
Yeah. They used to be partners.
Yeah, it's like Gray Matter, Walter White situation.
I was just thinking that, yeah.
The technology is very sci-fi. They constructed this drill that is shooting lasers in front of it to carve through the Earth's crust and core, and then it's like obviously implementing things that they're being very loose with. Like there's this whole part of the inside of the Earth that is just like crystals and diamonds,
like empty chasms, chambers.
Yeah. There's no inner Earth.
Oh yeah, there's no. So they're telling us that Godzilla X Kong, a new empire, is not real.
Yeah, what the
lame, dude.
I won't stand for this anti inner Earth propaganda.
You know what I thought about when they did the demonstration? They first show off that laser coring device.
Mm-hmm.
Where does all the stone in the middle go?
Oh yeah,
like they're shooting a ring laser, like a circular laser.
Oh, when they put the mouse in the thing, or shooting it in the cliff.
No, in the cliffside. It's like they do this, and it's a circular laser.
Yeah,
but where does the stuff in the middle go?
Maybe it's just like I don't know. It's not like the surrounding. It's just like so it evaporates everything inside of it as well. I don't know.
Okay. Anyways,
it don't make no sense.
Continue.
I think some of the writing was pretty funny. Like when Aaron Eckhart is in front of in the war room or whatever.
Yeah.
And he's pitching to them, and they're like, "All right, give us what do you got?"
Yeah.
And then and Aaron Eckhart's line is like, "Well, we're all dead meat."
Yeah.
And
don't you get it?
Yeah. Their extreme demonstration of like they're saying he's telling them this, and Stanley Tucci's character what's his name?
Zelensky?
Zimsky.
Yeah.
They're like kind of collaborating on this pitch to the military, and he's like, it will literally cook our planet, and then they're like, okay, we get it. And then they proceed to do the Apple flame hairspray aerosol can demonstration. He's like, do you get it now?
Take this, Zimsky. Hold on. Hey, come get this. We need to show them.
I don't think they get it.
No.
And they just torch a peach or an apple.
I thought it was a peach.
Yeah. And it was like, it's like they're explaining it to idiots, I guess.
I know. Well, they are politicians.
Yeah, politicians and generals and stuff. Mm-hmm. And then I didn't even realize or remember the subplot of the Project Destiny thing.
Oh yeah,
like they took it as we have to protect our country.
Yeah,
and we have to make it an American thing. And this Destiny project, I don't even remember exactly the plan. Like they were gonna launch this. They had built their own sort of.
They found out that the Russians had this technology to like create earthquakes or something like that.
Yeah, and then they were just going to shoot it directly into the core. Whatever, I don't even know what
they're going to like cause an earthquake in Russia instead of America or something like that.
Yeah, and that would cause more harm to the world than their initial plan. Plan A.
I don't know.
I don't understand it, but like they had this technology built already. Mm-hmm. And Richard Jenkins is playing the general.
The general, yeah.
But yeah, overall, it was kind of too long.
2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
This is not a 2 hour and 15-minute movie.
No. It's like an hour 40-minute at tops.
Yeah, hour 45 feels about right.
Yeah. There was some good, like, I like the third act where you kind of don't like Zimsky, Tucci's character, because he's like corporation kind of shill kind of guy.
He's like a... He got famous, so he's a little bit of a douchebag.
Yeah. But then he gets some humility at the end, and there's some like sacrificing.
It only took a couple of times getting punched in the mouth to make it happen.
Yeah. So like on that aspect, there were some things I did like character-wise and writing-wise, but like some of the dialogue was really cringy and just the effects. And I'm like, this is 2003. I feel like we could still do a little better than this.
Hold on, we're turning into the skid.
I know them like going into the earth when they're still in the ocean and they're like circling and the whales are they're singing to us. No, you're singing to them. And then DJ Qualls' writing was so bad.
He's pretty bad.
You want me to hack the planet?
Yeah. I was like, oh shit, Kevin Brackett's loving this. Hack the planet.
Yeah. But overall, it was a goofy. This is a goofy movie. Not a goofy movie. I would say that movie's better than this, but
yeah.
It was a silly, cringy, sci-fi bad movie, but that was entertaining.
Fair enough.
But yeah.
All right. So before we get to my review, we have a review from Tai.
Little Tyler.
Little Liler. I mean,
I'm your host, Outrageous Tyler.
Isn't it Ty Lee?
Boy, you sure are outrageous.
Tyler, you're outrageous. Yes. We have a review from Tyler, so let me see if I can find it. We have this one. Is it right here?
Tyler reads
Pete.
his own Letterboxd review.
Tyler's review.
This is me, myself, and Tyler.
All right. Outrageous Tyler writes, on first watch of this film, I really liked it. And he said he watched it back in the day too, right?
Yeah, I think so.
The idea was fresh and original. Upon second viewing, I still felt the same way.
Is this the second viewing?
This is the second viewing.
Okay.
There is laughable scenes and dialogue throughout the whole movie. However, all the ridiculousness works. The chemistry of the actors just feels right. Eckert was the most talented. It was a simple blockbuster of a movie done right. This movie was a total rewatchability for myself. Has a total rewatchability for myself, like The Lighthouse or Indiana Jones, and I was very happy to watch this movie again. I gave this a solid A, 4 stars with a heart.
Oh wow!
End of report.
Did he write? Did he write 4 stars with a heart?
No, it says the grade.
Oh, okay.
It says I give this a solid A. End of report, and then his grade is ranking on Letterboxd.
4 stars and a like.
4 stars and a heart. Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
We're not going to give our ratings till the end, but boy, that was surprising for me.
That's a bold.
I will say this though.
My
reaction on this first watch, it is a very fun movie.
Yeah.
And I can't disagree with a lot of the stuff that, Tyler says in his review, because I feel like I could throw this on at any point. This is like a basic cable classic where you could see it on Showtime and you just flip it on and you're like, oh, this is the part where they go to the Crystal Cave.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter because the whole fucking movie doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's a very basic plot once you've seen it once.
Not like they spent almost 0 time talking about how it's most likely a one-way trip to the core.
Yeah.
Just the idea that you could get to the core is preposterous. But the idea that you could get to the core, detonate a thermonuclear device or 10, and then get back, like it took them 2 days to get in there, and they're back in like an hour.
I know.
How the fuck does that happen?
I don't think the story of Interstellar would have happened if it weren't for the core.
Yeah. There's a lot of movies that give that, owe a debt of gratitude to the core.
What happened to the core? You forget about the core? Huh?
Yeah. And speaking of actual, I wanted to note, does the Earth's core actually rotate?
Oh, yeah. I remember we talked about this, which spawned, wasn't that conversation about the core reversing?
Oh,
the reason why.
Well, that's why I brought it up. I brought it up when you were talking about that, but I said, oh, that's probably going to be going the wheel soon.
Yeah.
So here's the answer. Yes, the Earth's core does rotate, but scientists aren't sure if it spins at the same speed as the planet's outer layer. The inner core is a solid ball of iron and nickel that's about 70% of the size of the moon.
That's insane.
I know.
The fact that it's there. Before the core, I was never ever thinking about the core. I forgot that the Earth had a core.
I thought it was liquid hot magma.
Yeah. There's a liquid element to it, right?
I think that's in the middle level.
Oh, okay.
Like the outer layer or whatever. The inner core, 2023 study published in Nature magazine found that the inner core's spin follows a 70-year cycle, and that it's been slowing down and moving in a slower speed in relative to the mantle since 2008.
Yeah.
And the study uses seismic waves, just like in this movie, from earthquakes that have passed through the inner core since 1964 to track its spin, which blows my mind that's even possible to do.
Yeah.
The research found that the inner core was spinning faster than the planet in the 1970s, but slowed down around 2008 and began moving in reverse in relation between 2008 to 2023. When the core spins slowly, the liquid around it speeds up, which can make the Earth rotate faster and shorten the length of a day. However, these changes are so small that they only amount to thousands of 1,000th of a second per day.
You wouldn't even notice.
Yeah, exactly. So the other so there is some reality to this fakakta science in this movie.
Yeah, the whole like it protects us from the radiation, the cosmic radiation and stuff. There's the magnetosphere or whatever.
So that part of it I don't think has any reality because this article continues. The inner core's spin could also have a small impact on Earth's magnetic field, but not a very large one. Scientists aren't sure why the core's spin reverses, but some think it could be part of a natural cycle due to that magnetic field. So the magnetic field is actually affecting the core versus the other way around.
Right. So if the core's spin doesn't affect that.
Yeah, the field is what's causing the core to spin.
Yeah.
So anyways, back to the actual Hollywood movie. I found myself kind of delighted in this movie while also being like laughing at the quality throughout.
Yeah.
There are scenes that like it seems realistic, like the beginning when the birds are dying. And I'm like, oh shit, they actually crashed a double-decker bus while they had a bunch of pigeons flying through shot. It was all practical. Like, that's a pretty good production aspect there. That's a pretty good bit.
Yeah.
And then they show the like meteors or whatever it is that are falling down on London or in Rome. What was it that was raining down on him when they were showing? Or was it just fire?
Just fire, randomly. I don't remember.
I mean, they have the Golden Gate where it's being melted, basically, and that poor guy gets melted.
That's later in the movie.
Yeah, that's much later. But the first time they are showing like the worldwide destruction of what
they show the people with pacemakers.
That's the very first one.
That's the very first one. It's a lot of people with pacemakers in one area.
It's very rare that people with pacemakers are in the same room at the same time.
This better not happen. Actually, because my dad has a pacemaker.
Yeah, like 20 people within one block. They're all dying.
All the pacemakers, all of our VHSs have been erased.
Yeah, no.
Be kind, rewind on a global scale.
Yeah, really. But the first time that you're seeing the global destruction from this magnetic field reversal or whatever, it looks like PlayStation 3 level cutscenes from like Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
I'm like, I remember playing Final Fantasy 7 on PlayStation 2, I think it was PlayStation 2. And there's the cutscenes in that were jaw-dropping, and then it gets to PlayStation 3, and then PlayStation 4. Maybe it was PlayStation 3. But either way, you're talking about like 10, 15-year-old generation console graphics for large swaths of this movie. And I think that's the problem with having this movie at 2 hours and 15 minutes is you're having to dedicate a huge amount of portion of your budget to computer graphics.
To see the exteriors.
Yeah. I mean, have one or two scenes that can only be done through CG and focus on those. The rest of it can be internal. It can be all interior shots of the ship. You don't have to keep cutting back to the ship flying through an empty space in the center of the Earth.
Yeah.
Which is my next huge problem is that as this, they make this huge thing that they're like going to drill through the mantle of the Earth. They're going to cut through the crust.
Lasers on the sides.
Yeah, lasers. They're going to shoot through it like the channel. But then once they get into the Earth, it's like Miss Frizzle's magic school bus. They're just flying around all over the place. It's like
isn't it solid?
That's what I thought. I mean,
they're going through it they would be going through it like a worm or a mole.
Yeah, you'd think they'd be continually burrowing through it with the lasers, but they're just like floating by.
Yeah, there's holes.
Yeah,
and that ship can't like fly.
No, it doesn't have jets on it to turn.
No.
I like also when the Hilary Swank is this hotshot pilot.
NASA pilot.
She saved the space shuttle from crashing when their coordinates were off because the magnetic field was off.
Land in the LA River.
Yeah, I thought that was great. That whole sequence went on way too long.
Yeah.
They're like, hold on, we're turning to the skid. Okay, hold on. Pull the landing gear. No, let's wait for the last second. They come right up on that guy on the scaffolding.
Isn't that not how that works? Don't they like eject into like a little pod?
So the space shuttle, the one that they're in, was the first reusable space.
Okay.
Yeah, so that specific design is designed to land.
Oh, okay.
It's basically comes back into the atmosphere and then glides like a
plane.
Like a plane.
Okay.
And it can be in those the huge rockets that you see on it. When you see that specific shuttle take off, they get blown off. They launch it. And then
it's just carrying them into space.
Correct. They launch them in, and then they break off, and then you have the shuttle that's left. So in theory, yes, but I don't really. I mean, I don't know enough about it to speak to if it could actually do that.
Yeah.
The point of that is, she's a hotshot pilot.
Yeah.
She's got to be on that drill. You got to get her on that drill.
Yeah.
So when they first break through the crust, and she's steering the ship or whatever the fuck it is,
making it go forward,
and she has a line that's so funny. She goes, adjusting to the least dense material, or something like that as she's driving.
Yeah.
It's like, you're going straight down. They're not going left and right.
No.
There's no, when you're drilling into a core sample size drill, it's a circular laser that's the width of the vessel. That's a giant long, like a snake.
Yeah.
Like a worm going straight down. You can't turn. What are you talking about? It's not like you have a choice where it's down into the core.
Yeah, the ship is not like a snake. It can't move like that. It's just rigid, straight.
Yeah, if you were a mole, you could be like, oh, okay, bedrock right here. Let's go to the left, Oh, there's some soft soil over here. Now we'll go down a little further. It's like they're going one fucking direction. It's straight down.
And how long does it take for them to get there?
2 days, like 48 hours or something.
And how many miles? It was like 7,000 miles.
I don't know how long it is.
It would ever be half the diameter of the Earth.
Yeah,
right?
let's see, Earth diameter.
Because he says early in the movie that the
3,500 miles.
The furthest we've got down is 7 miles, and that's a true fact. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like the whole line. Is like, even if we could do it and get down there, we can't get down there. And there's a long pause, and Tucci goes,
"Oh God,
what if we could though?"
I know that this whole thing of like it's impossible, but what if?
Well, what if we could?
And then suddenly Tucci just unless.
Yeah, which then it turned into like a Independence Day level where they go to the crazy scientist out in the desert.
Yeah,
and look at the technology.
It's
instead of Brent Spiner, it was Delroy Lindo.
Yeah, it's just like we can't do it. But if we could,
we'd give it a shot. But we can't because of this.
It's like they didn't even think about that. They're like, oh, what if we could?
Of course.
I didn't even think of that.
I watched this in 2 segments. I watched the first half, and then I went to go see Strange Darling.
Mm-hmm.
I finished it the next day when I got home, and
sandwiched. You sandwiched the core.
And when I picked it back up, right back into the action.
Yeah.
Tons of fun. This is a very specific type of movie that if you want to hate it, you're going to hate it. If you want to love it, you're going to love it.
It's a very specific disaster movie.
Yeah, it is. And I think that, I mean, I don't know what, like the timeline amongst other disaster movies, but going from this in 2003 and then later on, like 2012, The Day After Tomorrow, what was that one with the Knowing, the Nicolas Cage one?
Oh yeah,
Independence Day.
Moonfall. Oh,
Geostorm. Yeah, it's like later on they honed this very specific because those all feel like way better versions of this movie.
Yeah.
Day After Tomorrow, maybe about the same.
Yeah, maybe
about the same.
Same quality, maybe.
Yeah, but they almost like found what works and got rid of a lot of the other. Like it has to be cheesy.
Yeah.
You have to accept the fact that we're talking about an asteroid that's going to hit Armageddon, that's going to hit the Earth.
Mm-hmm.
and how are we going to save it? We're going to send oil rig workers to the asteroid.
We're going to send scientists.
Yeah, no, we're not. We're gonna send guys that didn't graduate high school. They've been working on a rig their entire life to go learn how to drill onto an asteroid. First, learn how to get there. Anyways.
And they bring back unobtainium. And
Avatar owes a debt.
what do you call what is this material? The material that they build the ship out of that can like it gets stronger as it takes more pressure. Like what do you call it? Calling it unobtainium.
Well, in the science community, that's a placeholder. Unobtainium is a placeholder for just a rare item,
Just
a
like-
rare element.
Yeah.
It's like if we could find this unobtainium and we could build this thing out of it, then we could do whatever in this hypothetical hypothesis or whatever. So
why does it just so happen that Delroy Lindo is making the very exact thing that they need?
Well, I could elaborate. Okay, I guess that's what we're here for. Here's what
That's a conversation for another day.
The way, that's when we cover the core a second time. So if he really is Tucci's old scientific business partner, and Tucci's the one that designed the machine that is fucking this all up, anyways, they're probably he's part of the what was it called again? Project
Destiny,
yeah, Deep Earth Seismic Trigger Initiative. That's if that's what Tucci was working on, kind of at the same time that Lindo was working on this other thing. They're in the same field, working on the same sort of thing.
I guess so, yeah.
So I mean, it kind of makes sense
because he's also building he built the prototype of the cockpit.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I was already doing this.
Yeah.
Wow.
What a coincidence.
Yeah, it's exactly what we need.
Yeah. I mean, how many other scientists does Tucci know for other potential world-ending events?
I don't know. You only meet him.
Yeah. Oh, there's aliens here. Well, there's a guy that's designing a spaceship that's really good. I fucked him over, too. We used to be business partners.
Yeah.
It was the lightning storm in Rome. That's what it was.
Lightning storm.
That looked like the Outworld in the Mortal Kombat movies. Mortal Kombat Annihilation Outworld level graphics.
Yeah. I remember reading about in the trivia like how they consulted like scientists to make this movie, but here it is. The University of British Columbia, Canada, and Earth and Ocean Science course uses this film as a learning tool by showing the film to students and then analyzing the bad science behind it. Ironically, at least one of the professors from that school was consulted during the shoots that were done in Vancouver.
Oh, wow.
So it's like one of their very own came from the inside, that their own professor was consulted, and now this same school that he teaches at is using it to like, this doesn't make any sense.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I looked up as soon as I heard them say it was unobtainium. I was like, is this like a normal thing? Is it in a lot of movies and I just don't know about it? So I looked up movies that use unobtainium as Avatar. That's Avatar. That's the material they're mining on Pandora. And the Wikipedia article says movies known for name checking unobtainium: The Core and Avatar.
Oh, that's it.
It's just it. Yeah. Apparently, it's just the two.
Yeah. The trivia for The Core is unobtainium is a term used by science fiction fans and some authors for an extremely rare, not yet discovered, or physically impossible substance necessary for a given task, aka the plot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and the plot for Avatar. The only reason they're mining Pandora is to get the unobtainium, and that is what drives that movie forward.
One of the scientists that they consulted on this movie, his name was Dr. David Stevenson from Caltech. After he had consulted with the movie, he thought of a scientifically possible way to send an unmanned probe to the core. His idea was then published in the prestigious science journal Nature in May of 2003.
Yeah.
So it's like the producer. He talked to the producers to give them basically like,
how could someone do this?
Yeah, could it be possible? How would we get to the core? Blah, 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 blah. And then he actually, through that thought experiment, devised a possibility of an actual way an unmanned probe can go down there.
Yeah. I wonder what that looks like. I wonder if they use the same. What if they would have to drill first? Probably. I know we're just speculating here.
Yeah.
and then send the probe? I mean, how would you send a probe that is just on and drilling the whole time to get down there? And how do you know it wouldn't come across some sort of immovable object or something?
Yeah, like a iron ore vein or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, I know nothing about the Earth's. I know we have a crust and a mantle, and that's it. And a core. I don't know what's in between. I have no idea. And plates that move and cause earthquakes.
Crystals and stuff.
Yeah. The crystals. Yeah, the giant crystals. I mean, that idea of like just getting into a cavern in the middle of the earth that nobody has ever seen. No human has stepped foot in there, and seeing that was kind of a eerie type of feeling.
Yeah,
because it's just like this place has been nothing but darkness since its entire existence.
Forever. Yeah.
And the fact that these humans are here now, it just seems like you are on a different planet, kind of. But then they are also the reason why it ruins.
Because they knock a hole and all the lava comes in.
Yeah, and I feel like that would maybe cause some more environmental damage on the surface.
Yeah. What if that's just happened anyways? Like that wasn't their fault.
No, maybe. Yeah. Who else would be drilling through? It kind of reminded me of like the Sentinels and the Matrix. When they drill through the Zion.
Yeah, exactly.
They ruined that.
I think the Matrix just ripped this movie off. Now I'm thinking about it.
No, maybe. Wait, 2003? When did Reloaded or Revolutions come out?
Like the next year. It was like 2002 or something like that.
Oh, okay. I know Aaron Eckhart says that he took this role because the script came to him shortly after 9/11, and he wanted a good paycheck during an uncertain time in the world.
Oh,
I see a terrorist attack on a nation. I need some money.
Well, it's kind of like when COVID-19 hit and the shutdown happened, and everyone's like, "Fuck, I'm going to be real tight with my money."
God, I better start baking some bread.
Yeah, I'm going to make some sourdough. Yeah, I don't know if he was like an acclaimed actor at the time.
I don't know. When did Thank You for Smoking come out? Was that after this?
Was he in it?
Yeah, wasn't he's like the main character in that?
I don't know.
I thought you watched it.
Mm-mm.
Thank You for Smoking?
Nope.
I could have swore you've seen that. I could have swore you stream picked it.
No, I don't think so.
Really?
What's it about?
I don't know. I've never seen it.
Oh. Look at us.
Directed by Jason Reitman.
We should start a movie podcast.
The satirical comedy follows the machinations of Big Tobacco's chief spokesman, who spins on behalf of cigarettes while trying to remain a role model for his 12-year-old son.
Interesting.
I could have swore you stream picked this.
Nope.
Maybe Tyler did. I don't think so. He doesn't watch movies.
His first movie was 1992, Double Jeopardy. It was a TV movie.
Oh, not the Double Jeopardy that we reviewed?
Nope. No. Let's see here.
He's known for The Dark Knight, Thank You for Smoking, Rabbit Hole, and In the Company of Men as Chad.
In the Company of Men, 1997. Any Given Sunday, 99. Aaron Brockovich, 2000. And then The Pledge, 2001. Possession, 2002. The Core, 2003. Paycheck, Suspect Zero.
Paycheck, the Ben Affleck movie.
Thank You for Smoking, The Black Dahlia, The Wicker Man, and then it goes on and on.
Wait, The Wicker Man?
Yeah, he was in The Wicker Man.
Wow. Okay. He played the president in Olympus Has Fallen.
Oh, cool. Do you see that they're making a Has Fallen cinematic universe?
What, that?
Olympus Has Fallen, London Has Fallen.
Yeah.
Or the
Paris? No. What is that series? I know there's 2 of them, right?
I think there's 3.
Anton
Here it is.
Fuqua.
Olympus Has Fallen, London Has Fallen, and then Angel Has Fallen.
Those movies exist?
All 3, yes.
Oh, okay. All directed by Fuqua?
I don't know.
Fuqua did the Olympus.
So Angel is the most recent one. That is 2019. And that was directed by Rick Roman Waugh.
Oh, Rick Roman Waugh.
Yeah.
Rick Roman Waugh.
Rick Roman Waugh. London Has Fallen 2016. That was directed by Babak Najifi.
Okay, so Fuqua only did the first one.
I didn't even know Fuqua was involved in this.
Yeah,
Anton Fuqua was
he did Olympus Has Fallen.
So they're making a new one, and it's funny because it's like Gerard Butler's not in the new one.
Oh,
and it's just some other people, and I think it's London or Paris Has Fallen or some shit.
Just going, everywhere is fallen.
Yeah, and it says on the cover on the poster, it says from the Has Fallen movie series.
Has Fallen
movie series. I'm like, it's the HFCU.
I've never seen any of those movies.
I haven't either. Heather, I was messaging Heather about it, and she says they're delightful. They're great guilty pleasures.
Really?
Just like the core. And another, speaking of guilty pleasures, the core was noted by Roger Ebert as one of his guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
He says in his review, I have such an unreasonable affection for this movie. Indeed, that is only by slapping myself alongside the head and drinking black coffee that I can restrain myself from recommending it. It's only a notch down from Congo, Anaconda, Lara Croft Tomb Raider, and other films which those who with too little taste think they have too much taste to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's an interesting line. They're films which those with too little taste think that they have too much taste to enjoy. Damn.
You think you're too good for the core?
What the fuck? You don't like Anaconda? Says Roger Ebert. Anaconda is fucking dope, though.
Yeah, I haven't not seen that movie in a long time.
Ice Cube is in it. Or is it Ice T?
It's Ice Cube.
Yeah, Ice Cube, Jennifer Lopez,
Owen Wilson,
John Voight, Owen Wilson. John Voight gets swallowed whole.
Yeah, J-Lo. Yeah,
I think J-Lo makes it out.
I mean, she's the main character. I think.
Yeah,
I think her and Ice Cube make out.
Oh,
I don't know.
Awesome.
Yeah. Joseph Bridges says Olympus Has Fallen is a lot of fun. The others are just stupid.
All right, there we go. Weighing in on the heavy hitting news.
Got the approval from Joseph Bridges that Olympus Has Fallen is fun. All right,
Joe, you still drinking?
Me?
No.
Oh,
other Joe. JB. JB, you still drinking?
Jables.
We're gonna be drinking a little bit later.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not right now. We have a rule: no drinking on the show.
That's right.
Me and Joseph always abide by that. Just the two of us.
Yeah. You know, I'm going off topic from the movie
Please.
but listening to the old episodes,
I knew you were going to say that.
Going through it, you know, it was a much different show than it is now. We were much more demure and calm back then.
Demure.
And we were very loose with our news stories. It's like, you have one? No, I don't have anything.
How about you? Maybe.
Okay, well, whatever.
Let's talk about this new Keanu Reeves movie.
Our Gab Chatters are only like 30 minutes long at most, 30 to 35 minutes. And but there's some movies that I feel like we should revisit.
I thought you were going to talk about some of the quality of the state of mind on that show. There were some episodes that were rough.
Yeah, a little bit.
And I used to edit a lot of segments out where I'm like, this is bad. I'd cut 10 minutes out of some of these episodes because I'm like, yeah.
It was.
We'll say no more.
But yeah, I think there's one specific movie that whenever it's my turn on the wheel, that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh cool. You're actually gonna do a revisit?
Yeah, because we didn't do it. Was a field trip movie. It wasn't one very specific one. The last movie that we saw before the pandemic.
I was just gonna say I knew it's that one too. Yeah.
Because I listened to that recently. And aggravating.
Yeah. It's funny because back then I remember some of those episodes. I was so frustrated and so pissed off after while recording and then afterwards. I'm like, we're not going to do this anymore if it's like this. But then other people would write into the show and be like, oh, that was great. You guys were so pissed. I loved it.
I know.
Fuck, I guess our pain is your entertainment.
Yeah.
In that situation.
All right, we'll dance for you.
Yeah. JB says, was a bit drunk and had to sober up some. I'm playing NCAA college football 24 and lost a game because of my drunkenness.
Well,
it's all right.
It's okay. Can't win them all.
Low stakes.
Yeah. Unless you get money on the line.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to the core.
Oh yeah, the core.
The core. I mean, it's a pretty simplistic plot. It was a little slow in the beginning after the initial disasters happen, and it's like them just talking and meeting the scientist and then doing the training and stuff. I was like, just get inside the earth already.
Just get in me.
I was curious as to when they stop in the crystal cave and that one little crystal stops them.
Oh yeah.
And they're having to saw through that crystal when Bruce Greenwood is the first victim.
Yeah, he falls into the lava.
He dies like Pierce Brosnan's wife does in Dante's Peak.
Yeah. Sucks.
And it was I know they are wearing those suits, like basically like astronaut suits, but they just can withstand pressure and heat. But they're just standing in that room full of lava that's almost to their level. I wondered how they how they reignited going in the ship, because they were dropped in the ocean by somebody. That's what gave them their momentum.
Yeah.
Right. But they're just like a worm on the ground.
There's no propulsion.
There's no wheels. There's no jets or anything, right?
I don't think so.
And then they just go through the lava.
They're like, yeah, we'll just use gravity. It'd be fine.
And then
just don't slow down.
The construction of the ship is like there's like a shell on the outside, because you can like walk in between to get to like the inner ship, much like it's designed like the Earth is. There's like a core of the ship and a crust that is protecting it from the outside elements that is like 9,000 degrees. And they can't even get back into like the engine room because it's like 5,000 degrees. We got to cool it off. It's like waiting for your pizza to cool off when you take it out of the oven.
Yeah, we'll just drop some liquid nitrogen on there.
Yeah. The liquid nitrogen that's keeping us cool from roasting in this worm cave.
DJ Qualls had to eat 54 Hot Pockets in various takes as Rat.
Oh my God.
He couldn't spit them out as Hot Pockets and Pepsi had paid for the product placement in the film.
Oh my God.
Qualls has hated this trivia bit calls them sandwiches, but they're definitely not sandwiches.
Hot Pockets? Yeah.
Actually, let me look this up here.
Is Hot Pocket a sandwich? I thought it was a pocket.
Is Hot Pocket?
Well, that would make an Uncrustable a pocket, right? It's constructed the same.
Yes, Hot Pockets are frozen sandwiches that contain meat and cheese in a crust. Interesting.
I wouldn't know. I don't think it's a sandwich.
What is a sandwich?
Hey Siri, what is a sandwich?
You know what I actually listened to? There's a trivia podcast I listened to called Good Job Brain, and they did the whole episode on food, and one of the segments was sandwiches and what constitutes a sandwich legally. So
legally,
yeah, because there's different tariffs and taxes on different things that require a legal doctrine to like facilitate what something is. For example, is Wolverine or Cyclops from the X-Men universe, are they humans or are they something else?
I mean, the easy go-to answer would be that they're mutants, but like they're mutant humans, right?
So that's the question. Is a mutant a human?
I guess so. Just with enhanced abilities?
So that's the question, because when you're talking about exporting certain toys, if it's a statue of a figurine of a person, it is taxed at a certain rate.
Oh.
And if it's a toy of a creature, an alien or a monster or something like that, it's taxed at a different rate for different purposes. There's reasons behind all this stuff, why the laws were made that way. But when one company that's exporting like Marvel, huge, or Mattel, huge amounts of these toys,
yeah,
and it's a 2.5% difference, they're going to argue one way or the other.
Right.
So the Supreme Court has to step in and decide, or the Department of Weights and Measures or whatever has to step in and decide. That's why Converse sneakers, the Chucks, have fuzz on the bottom of the shoe, on the tread. You walk on it like one day and it's gone.
Yeah,
it's technically a slipper. It can be sold as a slipper.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
And it's taxed at a different rate.
Huh, interesting. It kind of reminds me of why they call MacBooks, because laptop insinuates that you can put it on your lap. But MacBooks in the past have known to get super hot, too hot to put on your lap. So for like legal reasons, so they don't get sued.
Oh, that's interesting.
They call them MacBooks, not laptops.
JB in the chat says, in Indiana, a Hot Pocket is considered a sandwich for brewery needs when they are required to offer one. Sun King in Indianapolis literally has, quote, shitty Hot Pocket, $50 on their menu.
Interesting.
It says, I guess maybe they have to offer sandwiches with food if they're going to serve a certain type of alcohol or something.
I think
like
it's
that, maybe.
Yeah, working at a brewery, there's a lot of legal things. Like, for example, a lot of breweries will do slushies, like we do slushies, but we can't serve non-alcoholic slushies because we would have to get approval from the like health inspector, but we can serve alcoholic slushies because the alcohol eliminates the bacteria.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The problem I have with this, the reason why we're talking about Hot Pockets and sandwiches is
And the core. How does it all come back to the
this
core?
trivia bit, it casually says that DJ Qualls had to eat all of these sandwiches, and he doesn't like the sandwich ever since. You can't casually call a Hot Pocket, even if it's true, you can't casually call a Hot Pocket a sandwich and just move on.
Mm-hmm.
So do you know that the proper way to say octopus,
the proper
plural,
octopi,
is technically, it's octopi if you want, it's octopuses if you want, or it's octopodes.
What?
Because in the English language,
It's like a Greek god that's an octopus.
yes, pretty much, because people use octopi because they think it sounds good because it's this Latin conjugation of the multiple of octopus, like
Yeah.
cactus, cacti, octopus, octopi.
Radii, like radiuses.
Yeah.
Is it radii?
Radium?
I don't know.
I don't know. But they think it sounds good because they've heard it like that before.
Yeah.
But the problem with English is if you're conjugating something based off of the root language, you have to use the same conjugation of that root language. And octopus, the root language, is not Latin, it's Greek. So the multiple of octopus in Greek would be octopodes.
Oh, okay.
So, which is correct? All three are correct.
Oh.
Because in English, you're also able to use the natural conjugation of English, so octopuses would be correct,
Mhm.
the root language conjugation of octopodes, which would also be correct, or octopi, because that's now been generally accepted as the normal vernacular.
Oh,
for
just
that word.
because.
Because it's just been accepted.
Okay.
So which way is correct? They're all correct.
Oh, okay.
But don't say octopodes casually in a sentence and expect to just move on to the next thing.
Yeah. That's a lot of octopodes.
Yeah. Like, what the fuck? Next thing I know, you're going to call Hot Pocket a sandwich.
Yeah. But going back to octopus.
Okay.
Because like moose, right? There's no meese. It's just
just
moose.
moose, yeah.
That's a lot of moose.
Yeah.
Right? Would you say that's a lot of octopus as plural on its own? Or would you have to say that's a lot of octopodes?
You say octopodes, yeah.
Okay.
Or octopuses or octopi.
I don't know what moose and octopus sound like they could be.
I agree with
used
that.
as-
I don't know. There's actually a rule for that, why moose is, the plural for moose is just moose.
But we have geese and goose.
Yeah, that makes no sense. When is it proper to say fishes?
Fishes?
Yeah, look at all those fishes. Because it's also standard. It's just look at this bunch of fish.
Like a verb, I guess. He fishes.
Correct, but if you're looking at a group of fishes,
Like a noun.
yeah, a group of fishes. When is it proper to use it?
Improper?
Proper.
Oh, when is it proper?
Because it's just like, look at all that fish. There's a bunch of fish.
Look at those fish.
Bunch of fish in that tank.
I guess when you're talking about different species of fish.
Bingo. Bingo. If you were to say, look at all those fishes. There's sardines.
Variety of
and there's
fish.
Clownfish. There's neon tetras.
Yeah.
There's
anglerfish.
Yeah, there's anglerfish in there. There's goldfish.
Now, is a shark a fish?
It's a skate, I think. It's in the skate family.
Skate?
Yeah.
Like skating? It's spelled the same?
Yeah.
Oh, no idea.
Skates are their own thing, but they're in like the same family. Skates and sharks.
Okay. Now, skating.
Anything else?
The core.
About the core that you want to talk about?
I like the ridiculous, like when they get to the core and they're the first sacrifice is from the French guy, right? Like the guy who he knows that he's gonna die,
yeah.
and he's like, "Open the door."
Yeah, and she doesn't do it, and it comes a shitty callback to when she had to. She has never won because she's never lost or some shit like that. You know,
Yeah.
Bruce Greenwood is telling her.
She has to make a decision, and if one decision could lead to everybody dying, versus this one French guy dying, so that was.
And ultimately the world too.
Yeah,
it's not just the three of them.
The ship is designed that way
for that reason. Essentially,
is it because the ship has the nukes? Are they all in the back, or are they all laid out through those segments of the ship?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I remember when it's just Zimsky, when it's Zimsky's turn to die. Aaron Eckhart's character, he's like, he's like knocked out, or he's stuck underneath something.
Yeah, he's pinned behind a giant like tank or something that falls.
Yeah, and that's not one of the bombs, right?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. And then it rolls onto him.
Yeah. He's like, I can't do it. See you later.
It rolls onto his leg.
And she just turns again. I don't know how she's turning.
Yeah, she's just they're spinning like this, just like.
Hold on, we're turning into the spin.
Yeah, and then when they're in the core and it's just the three of them left, and they're kind of circling around. They're trying to figure out how to drop the bombs, because they learn that what they have is not enough.
Yeah, they can't do it in one spot. They have to do it all over.
Yeah, and then they're like, "What if we do it like this?" They're running through the simulations.
Which again, how are they placing the bombs strategic? The thing can't move like that.
Yeah, it has to go
fighter jet. They can just drop bombs.
It has to go around the core basically, and they're gonna basically sparse out the bombs and make sure that the explosions are strong enough to get into the core. They have to break through that barrier. And Delroy Lindo is willing to sacrifice himself because he rigs the straw grab. The drawing straws game. He's like, it's my ship. I designed it. I'm gonna die with it.
I mean, I respect it too, because you think he's just gonna go in the other room. It's gonna get hot, and then he's gonna die in there.
Yeah.
He's got to like open a hatch, reach in. He has to turn it lefty loosey to pull the thing out, activate something, close it back up, door shuts
at 9,000 degrees,
and then he dies.
Yeah.
I like how he goes in. He goes,
it's hot,
and then immediately just starts walking. It's like,
I like the there's some effects like in that scene and in another scene with like cars' tires where it looks like the tires are melting.
Oh yeah,
and then his shoes, like you can see them kind of melting.
Yeah.
As he's walking. So I like some of those effects that they used, the practically. He sacrifices himself, so it's just Swank, Eckhart, and Tucci.
And Tucci, the Tooch.
And then Tucci becomes, obviously, he's the last person to, not necessarily sacrifice, but he's like, get out of here, man. After his foot gets caught underneath that big tank, and Eckhart's like, I don't know what to do. He can't lift it, I guess.
I have a list here. Yahoo Entertainment, the top 10 most scientifically inaccurate movies.
Oh, nice. Is The Core one of them?
The Core is one of them.
Nice.
Number 10, Armageddon. Number 9, Independence Day. I don't know about that. Well, I guess, how do they interface with the mother ship from the one ship? They upload like a MS-DOS.
Oh, yeah, like a virus.
Onto, anyway.
How do they know how that works? I guess they have their ship to base it off of. I don't know.
Yeah. So what is that? That was 10, 9. Okay, number 8, Starship Troopers.
Going back to Independence Day real quick. One of my favorite parts of that movie is when they get in the captured ship, and the Will Smith realizes that they put
that was his cheat sheet.
A cheat sheet.
He pushes it forward and it goes backwards. He goes, I'm gonna fix that.
It's upside down.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Starship Troopers.
Starship Troopers.
Scientifically inaccurate.
Yes. Number 6. The Day After Tomorrow. Number 5. The Core.
Oh, it's midway through the list.
Number 4. The Matrix.
All of these are science fiction movies.
Number 3, Jurassic Park.
Okay.
That's a bullshit answer.
Oh, it's like I would expect like Apollo 13 is on here.
Yeah. I got my numbers mixed up. This is number 3. Total Recall.
Okay.
Well, Apollo 13 is legit though.
I know, but like that's what I was expecting, like scientifically inaccurate, as in like the probability or possibility of these things happening.
It's like the technology is not real. Like it could never happen. This could never happen.
No. That's why it's science fiction.
Yeah. Total Recall. Number 2, Outbreak.
Oh.
Yeah, with Dustin Hoffman.
Okay.
A monkey threatens a small town with a virus that kills everybody in less time than your average DMV visit.
I like, wait, a monkey threatens a town with a virus? Like the monkey's like,
back off, man.
I'm threatening you.
Back off, man.
Town.
I'll give you the monkeypox. And number 1, Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull.
What? Okay.
The ancient spherical boulders of fighting off cult members while dangling on a rope bridge. The ants that consume the person alive in a moment's notice. Also, surviving the nuclear blast in a refrigerator.
Well, shouldn't The Mummy be on there with that logic?
That's a fantasy movie.
It's Indiana Jones, not a fantasy movie.
Yeah, it's a historical document.
I guess so.
All right. Well, I'm all talked out.
I'm all cored out.
I'm all cored out. Yeah. You want to give it a grade?
Sure. So the core, not as like good, like quality wise of movie as I remember, but still a fun movie to watch.
Yeah.
Just maybe a little long. I would say like a B plus.
Ooh, B plus.
Yeah.
B plus.
Entertainment value.
Yeah.
Is there? It's not necessarily like a bad movie, but it's like an entertaining movie that's not that great.
Do you think it deserves the 34% Rotten Tomato score?
Seems harsh.
I think it's a little harsh.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. So,
Yeah.
This is objectively not a good movie, but it is fun. And I don't think it, like, when it came on, when it landed on the wheel last week, I said, I think it takes itself too seriously, having not seen the movie. Now that I've seen it, I really don't think it does.
Yeah.
I think it's played pretty cheesy.
That thought went through my head watching it. I was like, maybe these performers are giving it a little too much dramatization.
Yeah. I mean, there's like the effects of what's going to happen is played up very profoundly.
Yeah.
I liked that, like I like the effect of seeing the ozone rip open and the like sunbeam come through.
Oh yeah,
like the finger of God just crushing
like a super laser.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool. But like all the stuff of them flying through the center of the fucking, it was Magic School Bus level shit, you know. I was like, what is this? They're really goofing off here.
Yeah.
So love Delroy Lindo. I'd probably give it a C+.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like if I on Letterboxd, this is 3 stars with a heart, a 3-star banger, as they say on Cinematics.
Yeah.
For this type of movie, if you're getting into this shitty early 2000s disaster, end of the world movie, it's junk that you know you're getting junk. So,
yeah.
All right, so that's the core. Let's move on to the wheel.
The
One wheel, 8 slots, 3 hosts. This is the Wheel of Destiny.
All right.
The wheel.
The core is off the wheel. I don't really have like a super like exciting pick or anything that like I've been eager to get on the wheel.
Yeah.
So trying to think if I have anything I want to like.
Oh, you didn't have one planned?
No. Well, let me do this. I'll put on
placeholder movie.
Well, for Heather's movie, Heather had we did Kentucky Fried Movie. The other Patreon slot is with Dallas for Grizzly Man.
Okay.
I'm erasing it as we speak. So I got Chris actually did send me a message of what he wants on the wheel, and it was, I don't want to pick. I want Brianna to pick.
Oh, okay.
That's what he said.
Interesting.
So I asked the love of my life, the air in my lungs, what she would like us to review, and she said Lars and the Real Girl.
Oh, okay. I've never seen it.
Oh, cool. Well, I'm glad. I think Tyler's seen it.
Falling in Love Like in the Movies is Joseph Bridges' current #1. Is that a movie?
Falling in Love Like in the Movies?
Falling in Love Like the Movies. What were we talking about?
I don't know. And maybe that's his current #1, like, recent movie? Okay, so that's going to be...
Falling in Love Like in Movies, 2023 film.
Fuck it, Joseph. Let's put it on the wheel. Falling in Love Like in Movies.
That's what it says.
I've heard of it before.
Yeah. 8.3 out of 10.
Cool.
Directed by Yandy Lawrence.
Is it an Asian movie?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
There's a bunch of Asians on the cover.
I think they were Asian.
Bagus, a screenwriter, reunites with his high school friend and crush, Hana, who is still grieving from the loss of her husband. He wants to convince her to fall in love once again, just like in the movies.
Is it Falling in Love Like in the movies?
No.
Just in movies?
In movies.
Okay, Falling in Love Like in Movies. Cool.
Okay.
That's my
so no Lars and the Real Girl.
No, that's my pick. I'm putting it on my pick for the wheel.
What are you putting on? What you're picking?
Falling in Love Like in Movies. Because
the Patreon pick.
That's Joe Bridges, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe Bridges does not get a Patreon pick. But
I wonder.
Chris does. Yeah. All right, so let's recap what's on the wheel. We have Lars and the Real Girl from listener Chris, Grizzly Man from Dallas, Falling in Love Like in Movies, Pete, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from Pete, Broadcast News from Tyler, American History X from Tyler, Do the Right Thing from Joseph, and Notting Hill from Joseph. So,
okay.
Super spin. I'm going to give it a super spin here.
Super spin.
So it's going to be what we watch next week.
Oh, a good spin. I guess that's why I call it a super spin.
It really is still going.
It's like one of those fake wheels. It just keeps spinning. Let it go. Let it go.
Oh, finally!
And he's not here.
American History X.
Fun for the whole family.
Back when Ethan Suplee had, before he lost the weight.
Oh, man.
Yeah, he was a big bubba before.
Yeah.
And I just watched a behind the scenes picture of Fairuza Balk shaving his head on the set of this movie.
Apparently, this movie was in a post-production nightmare with Edward Norton taking over the editing.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So this is on Just Watch, streaming on Paramount and Fubo. At 98% on Just Watch, 8.5 on IMDb.
It's pretty good according to IMDb.
Yeah. Who's this? Directed by Tony Kaye. And maybe Edward Norton.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've seen this before a long time ago.
I've seen parts of this movie. I've never seen the whole thing. I've seen like some graphic parts of this movie.
There's the smiley scene is I'm dreading watching that scene again.
Yeah.
I had a friend growing up whose older brother liked this movie for different reasons.
Oh God.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, we'll watch American History X next year, hopefully, or next week. Hopefully Tyler's better by next week.
Yeah.
If he's not, do you want to spin it back up?
Sure. Yeah.
What do you want to do? Maybe we'll do something different next week if he doesn't.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what.
Me and you will talk about your detective.
Season 2. But we got to know now because we can watch it through the week.
Yeah, true.
So anyways, we'll just hope that Tyler's feeling better by next week. If not, we'll figure out something during the week and we'll see how he's feeling. Anything else, Joseph?
No.
Okay.
I don't have anything else.
Well, thank you so much to our cool ass yard duties over on Patreon. That's Javier, Heather, Michael, Steven, and Chris.
It's completely different now.
I know. And if you want to support us, you can do so at patreon.com/middleclassfilmclass, or you can just join us on the YouTube page live or later when they are released. Share with your friends. Getting the subscriber count up would help us a ton. Until next time. Thank you for joining us as we review the guilty pleasure, so says Roger Ebert, The Core. Follow us next week as we watch the oldest, longest running movie on the wheel, American History X. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/MCFC podcast, and send us an email, mcfcpodcast@gmail.com.
And follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Middle Class Film Class, and on Twitter at Podcast MCFC.
And leave us a voicemail, why don't you? At
230-730-6010. See that, Tyler?
Yeah, right off the top of my head. All right, we'll see you next time.
See ya.